Hello, screeners. It's me, the one AJ Anthony Jordan.
I still got City of Stars playing in my head after Los Angeles, brother. It's me too, Nico Lero.
Welcome back, my bro. Welcome back. How you doing?
So amazed by LA, I can't tell you.
That's nice. That's nice, man. That's nice. I'm happy for you. Happy for
That
you.
Walk of Fame, brother. Whew.
Which is slightly cheating because you could be like, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot that name.
literally, that was research. I'm going to file that chip as a tax deductible business expense. It was amazing, bro. All the places you walk around, like Griffith Park Observatory, the Santa Monica Pier, all these places you're walking around and going, fuck, some big names who we love at the Movie Mount Rushmore podcast have walked here. Whew, you know, like hallowed ground. Hallowed fucking ground, man. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. How have you been? All good?
Bro, it's been a journey. It's been a journey since you've been away. I can't even say like yesterday/today, first day off, really. But aside from that, all good. For anyone who cares to care, I passed my personal license test. I have the right to sell alcohol wherever I wish.
Go on,
I'm on. Yeah, one that had me on a bit of a shaker, but I don't want to say it to disrespect anyone who's had to do it multiple times. But yeah, it had me nervous because the preliminary test that allowed me to get into the test scraped in by a point, right? And it's 40 questions. You need by percentage wise, I think you needed like 28 to pass. I've got 29.
Pass is a pass.
Yeah. That was on the prelim, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to do this. Like, if I fail on the test, man's not hot." Do you know what I'm saying? Essentially, 35 out of 40 on the main test. So
go on, my man.
All kinds of awesome. And can I say, for an online test, have you ever done an online test?
Many, I'm afraid to say.
Like, when I say that, I've never been invigilated online in my life, and it was one of the most awkward but awesome experiences ever. Like, so this had to be spun the other way around because they needed depth, and where I am isn't too far from the wall, but you need to be 2 meters away for the invigilator. I had to expose ears. I had to expose wrists to show that there's no one talking in my ear, no other phone in the room, no wristwatch to provide info. It was nuts, but cool. And yeah, passed. So that was the highlight of this time since you've been gone. I didn't walk any Hollywood stars. I didn't get to do anything. I had an awesome time with the ministry bros.
You didn't get to go to Super Nintendo World either.
No, I haven't even been to the Super Nintendo movie yet. But I have seen Air. Saw that today. Awesome.
Yeah, and showed your sexist colors by not even mentioning Viola Davis.
I did mention Viola Davis.
No, you didn't.
I said Viola Davis.
It's online now. You may check on the channel. It's not there.
I guaranteed I did.
You know how I know you didn't? Because I spent time captioning your video to make sure it ranks better. Viola Davis's name did not come up.
Don't say
Are you
that.
actually? Do you want me to? Shall I play it live now? Would you like me to play your review for you, AJ?
What, right now?
Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's share with the screen what AJ's been up to.
Let's have some fun. Hang about, my friend. While I'm doing that, could you address the comment section?
Right, comment section, how we doing, people? How we doing? Because we are back, yeah? Everyone's been there. So let's see. Right from the top, Francis says, hi, Francis, how you doing? Fun fact, scheduled start time here, US Eastern Daylight, 4:20. Love it. RJ Skarenki says, hey, RJ, how you doing? Arnold, Slide, Chuck Norris, Jason Statham. Yes, we are talking movie stars. Fun fact, one of those made my list. Francis says, Cary Grant, everyone wants it to be Cary Grant. Even Cary Grant wants it to be Cary.
Very good.
Yeah, I can't. Well, screw it. I will be honest. Cary was on my list.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Not too long ago.
Just snuck off.
It really hits me. But RJ also says, Pedro Pascal, Brad Dourif, Mario Bros, Bugs Bunny. Oh, well played. James Russell Hamar and Errol Flynn. Yes.
Errol Flynn, that's a fucking good shout.
Yeah. Francis also goes on to say Lauren Bacall. She killed the camera shot, smoking a cigarette. Yeah. Christopher Lee, typecast endlessly, yet played any role with equal perfection. Can't disagree with that. The Marx Brothers, each scene played perfectly via much play string on stage, literally where each laugh would land, be visual or verbal. I can't. So here's the thing, guys. When this first came out, I was like, this episode is a piece of piss. Then the names started to pour in, and as just before we press record, I was saying to Nick, maybe we should have done this by the eras because it's very hard to contain. I don't want to call anyone a fallen star, but there are some names that I feel the younger generation don't recognize. There are some names now that I feel like would never, where would they last in a previous era? It's a very difficult one. And like, how do you rank who's who? Do you do highest grossing?
Look, we're going to talk about what constitutes a star in just a moment, because for a lot of what you've just read, for me, these are not stars. These are just very, very, very good actors, like the recent one, Peter Sellers. Not a star.
No,
one of the all-time actors, not a star.
Yeah.
But I've got the video ready for you, AJ.
No, I'm sure I said it.
Yeah, I'm really hoping I'm not wrong at this point after all this bravado.
Please do. Please run it.
Running it.
Okay, guys, AJ, Anthony Jordan here, and I am giving you my Out of Cinema review for Air, the story of Michael Jordan and Nike. Quite a few people in this movie. So who are we talking? We're talking Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, Marlon Wayans, and even Chris Tucker is in there.
Oh shit, AJ!
As well. Jason.
Oh no.
Sorry. Sorry, lo siento, no entiendo. No entiendo, por favor.
Good night. I didn't even catch that shit, and I captioned it. What a dickhead!
I knew I did because I remembered I was reading it about how vital she was as his mum for the role. So I'm like, no, I knew I said this. Like, to be honest, the film is Matt Damon's movie. 100% is Matt Damon's movie. There's a few bits. There was like some crackhead who kind of started. I even said, I hope the guy didn't disturb me. By the time I put the camera down, I realized it was a woman. Not here to be violation, but it was just how noisy that person was. And I'm going through it. Rain started to hit my head. If anyone's looking for Michael Jordan, no, it's a Nike story of how they were chasing MJ, you know. But no, it's a good film. It's a good film. I hope it's out for an Oscar nod. I don't, and this is God's honest truth, I don't know if it will make my movie of the year. It'll be top 10 probably. It won't be my movie of the year, but it's a very good film all the same. I do encourage everyone to go out and watch it.
Bigger Movie Pod is also here. Movie Mount Rushmore, I am in you. Rob here. Have a great show, gang. Rob, address my message on Twitter because I demand the L. You know.
What, the L that I didn't mention, Viola Davis, that L?
Correct. That one's Platinum Man, Gavin Mann is here. Good evening, all, and welcome back, Nico. Thank you, Gavin. Looking forward to an undoubtedly stacked show. It's going to be a biggie. Who else have we got? I think that's it from the comment. Oh, Riri's here. Hello, Riri. Hello, hope you're okay. Keanu Reeves is a star for sure. John Wick 4 is arguably the GOAT of action movies. No. Also saw an amazing film recently, Rye Lane. Would highly recommend. I do need to check that one out. And John Wick
is on my list of stuff to check, actually.
John Wick 4 is fucking magnificent, but it is not True Lies. L is your darling. Thank you, Bigger Movie Pod. Thank you so much. And by the way, if you haven't subscribed to Bigger Movie Pod already, one of the best podcasts out there that isn't ours, please do. Mixed Memorabilia here is here too. I think that's gents. Looking forward to watching Air, Tetris, and Big George Foreman. Yeah.
Those are all bangers. Honestly, like I'm actually kind of gutted. I know we talked about it previously today. I was looking out for Tetris as the next movie to hit the cinema. I am kind of hurt that it's straight to Apple TV, but
of course,
yeah, I will.
Of course, it couldn't get distribution for the reasons we were mentioning earlier.
Yeah.
It does suck. A movie like that should be on the big screen. It does suck. But hey, I seem to be in a minority who think that, but it is what it is. Francis Law, Mark Hamill, star or not? Tricky one. Very tricky one.
Pop icon. I can't say star because the variety of movies. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong. He is Skywalker. He's also the voice of the Joker. Then he's no one. I don't want to be disrespectful.
He is a very, very smart businessman.
Of course.
So let's define star before we jump into this. You can define yours and I'll define mine. I'm defining star by someone who doesn't necessarily have to be a great actor, but can be, but someone who has star quality, kind of like that David Beckham vibe. David Beckham was not by any stretch of the imagination the best soccer player of his generation, or indeed of any generation. He was a very good footballer who played in a very good team, but in that team, which had players who were much, much better than him, your eye went to him. He had that aura, that star quality. And that's kind of what I'm talking about today. People who, however right or wrong, the world has just gravitated towards. Case in point, Sam Rockwell, one of the finest actors working today, does not have star quality. Breaks my heart to say it, but most people don't even know who the fuck Sam Rockwell is if you ask your average Joe Schmo in the road. Daniel Day-Lewis, I would argue, does not have star quality. The best actor of all time, not necessarily a star. De Niro has both.
Yeah. So the way I broke it down personally was sometimes it could be people's go-to person for X, Y, Z. Like you know when you put it out there, favorite actor, you will always hear a specific name. Favorite actress, you would hear a specific name. Then I also put it down to those people who have got that landmark. They've lasted the test of time. Their films may not be there, but people recognize them or have seen shit about them. For instance, I'm not, without getting into spoiler territory, some may be very uninformed as to who Che Guevara is, but the poster is always there. People know that poster, that face, that symbol. So there were some people who were there, two of which have made my list for that kind of iconicity. You may not even know their films. You may not even know their name, but you will recognize them. And then to the other degree, I played it on the people who you could say, and it's very rare because I think there's one person who's kind of become that person now, who could be, I'm going to the cinema to see the X movie. You know, it's their name that brings your backside to the cinema seat as opposed to what the film is about or the quality of the film. That person's there. Again, good or bad actor. One who let me check if that person made the list because it's killed me that I haven't put them on. I'm not even going to do it because it might be in your list. But there are certain comedians out there who very much nearly done that. For me, one who I thought was star but never been the main attraction was someone like Samuel L. Jackson. He's popped up into absolutely everything, but is just lacking star quality because it's never been the Sam Jackson movie. Sam Jackson just happens to be in the movie.
Correct.
And that's kind of your balance for me. So that's the way I worked it out.
Riri Thomas has a good one here. Pierce Brosnan, star.
Yeah.
For me, he's a star. Bigger movie pod. Tom Cruise, dare I say, is a star. Not a fan myself, though. Absolutely, Tom Cruise is a star. Absolutely.
Absolute star. Yeah. So that's the way. There are so many names that hit. Fuck's sake. Sorry, I need to re-upload my number 8 because that person is a star to me, but I don't know much of their films. Whereas
Pierce Brosnan.
No. Oh shit! Yeah, keep loading them, guys. No. But, no, I've got a new number 8 because there is one who, spoiler, was even a poster on Nick's previous studio place, and that was my number 8. But this other name is one that I thought resonated to people throughout the test of time, so I brought that person in. But that's the way we're playing this game. It's just
Jean-Claude Van Damme says mixed memorabilia, 100% a star.
Yeah. Again,
Hitchcock,
back then,
star or not? Hitchcock, not a star.
But I don't know because people would say the latest Hitchcock movie, and that would be your attraction to the film. It wasn't the premise of the film; it was the latest Hitchcock. It's like if you knew. Let's play it. It's difficult because we're not.
Yeah, but but that's how people frame a director, isn't it? The latest Spielberg movie, Nolan movie, Tony Scott movie.
Yeah, it's kind of director is slightly more difficult, but it still brings you because there are certain stars. To me, you've got maybe a trifecta, maybe 4 in the director. Like, don't get me wrong, Chazelle does good shit, but I don't know if it was like the latest Chazelle film.
I am, but Tarantino is a star. I would say the latest Chazelle film for the reasons I mentioned.
The wider audience, I don't know. Spielberg, Hitchcock, Tarantino, possibly Nolan.
Spielberg, Hitchcock, Tarantino. What about Ridley Scott?
I don't know. Cameron.
Oh yeah,
I don't
no.
even know if people
There
think
you go.
it's a Cameron.
That's a star. There you
Do
go.
people recognize it's a Cameron movie and go, or Cameron just makes bangers of movies that happen to be Cameron movies? Do you get it? Do people recognize the name that it's a James Cameron movie they're going to see? Whereas the other one, a Steven Spielberg movie, you know you're going for Spielberg. A Tarantino, you know you're going for Spielberg.
Yeah, but the star when it comes to a director is the fact that their body of work has made them a star. I don't think that it's necessarily down to a commanding aura they have, simply because they're not people we get to see on screen, so we can't make a proper assimilation of if they have that aura.
Those three names will bring you to it. Good movie, bad movie, indifferent. You hear the name, you're going to be like, oh shit, Spielberg's done a new one. We've said it time and time again. He's a fallen star who we'd like to see reoccur, but it was that. Hitchcock, you say a Hitchcock movie. Maybe Kubrick. I think Kubrick could fall into that maybe as well. Not a fan of his stuff
Not
myself.
a star. He's an auteur, not a star for me, Kubrick. Oh, and by the way, I saw The Fableman, Spielberg's new movie. I can't quite get behind the hype behind it. It's good. It's really good. But people are like, oh, it's his masterpiece. I'm like, it's really not. It's really fucking not.
The trailer told me I would enjoy the film, but I didn't think it was going to be brilliant. And that's the truth behind it. So it was one of those when I was trying to convince the missus of, oh, let's see what's in the cinema in the period. And I was like, it's there. I know she wouldn't enjoy it. So it was like, And I haven't seen it as yet. And that's where I'm kind of like torn into when I'm going to see The Fableman. Anyway, we digress.
Bigger Movie Pub with a fantastic question here. One of two. Do you think the oversaturation of content creators, and yes, I realize that includes us, and the immediacy of our demands as fans, i.e. social media, has broken down the mystique of actors to enable them to become stars?
This is something I feel is awkward. And my number 10 shows that we still have, there is one star, as far as I'm concerned, left. Like someone who is, oh, that person's got a new movie. That's why they kind of came in as number 10 for me.
You're describing my number 10 there as well perfectly. Maybe we've got the same number 10.
Potentially.
Share a birthday by any chance?
Huh?
Nothing.
Oh no. Oh god, no. He's much later down. No, that's one of those who held star power as far as I'm concerned. Because they were a star in the era when we had stars. I don't feel we have stars now. We have people live for the moment nowadays, you know?
I'd argue that actually that the closest thing we have to a star now is maybe Chris Hemsworth. And I still wouldn't consider him for this list. He's got that something. He's got that aura. He's got that je ne sais quoi. You see Chris Hemsworth in like those Boss commercials and you're like, you're drawn to his presence.
Yeah, there's one other guy. I mean, you'll see it as number 10 because I feel he is that person at the moment. I'm a bit disappointed with how many females I had in this list. I've got 2. I feel like it needed more.
I think I've got 3 or 4.
I was very tempted to put one other in there, but I don't know. 2 others nearly made the list. One being an amazing actress. The other one being I felt like it was there. Like people say, I need to go see that person's movie. Again, I'm not going to mention based on who they are, but potentially being on your list, should I say. But yeah, a bit of an awkward one.
And just to answer these last few before we get into it, Billy Mounts here. Hello, Billy. Great Billy. To have you here. Francis Lyon says, Jack Nicholson, star or not? Yes, I would say star for Jack Nicholson. Bigger Movie Pod says, people say that Dwayne Johnson has that star-like aura. He does, but I prefer the People's Champion worked his Hollywood stuff. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%.
Oh, by the way, talking of star power in this era, I actually called KSI before KSI was revealed at Mania.
Fair enough. I thought it was Jake Paul, you know.
I literally said to the boys, is it Jake Paul or KSI in there? And I was like, he's going to reveal it. The face is literally a hole in the face. But yeah, we digress.
Where is it? Francis Lyon says, Ryan Reynolds, star or not? 100% yes. Absolute star. Riri Thomas, Rachel McAdams, Ava Green, no and no.
No, sadly not.
Again, these are just opinions. If you guys disagree, like there is nothing affirming how.
You know who nearly made the list for me? Someone like Emma Stone. I personally go out if I see Emma Stone somewhere. Like that's my little hidden gem of actresses. Like, oh, Emma Stone's going to be good. Short of Aloha or Ola.
Doesn't make her a star though. Just makes her a draw.
No, It was my personal preference, but I know there's not enough people out there to say the new Emma Stone. So for me, she couldn't make the cut. Like, it's one of those things, personal preference, yeah. But
you'll like this one from Bigger Movie Pod, AJ. Live for the moment, magnitude adjustment, anyone?
Oh yeah, the best version of that Hardy you could
Damn
ever
right.
get. The one. Sorry.
Daisy Ridley, star or not? No, don't think
sadly.
so. Bruce Lee has to be top 3. Don't know, but absolute star, yes. Sigourney Weaver.
I'm torn with Sigourney because I don't like
cultural icon, pop culture icon.
You say Sigourney, I'm going to think Alien. I've had fun with Heartbreakers and stuff, but where do I picture Sigourney?
Ghostbusters.
Yeah, even that.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Pop culture icon. Yeah. I don't think star. Linda Hamilton. No. Bigger Movie Pod. I agree with this statement wholeheartedly. Charlotte Rhea was the match of the weekend. You goddamn right it was. And Bigger Movie Pod disagrees with you. Not Emma Stone for me. Do you actually disagree that Charlotte and Rhea was the match of the weekend?
I know what the worst.
Surely.
I know what the worst match of the weekend was. Hands down. Well, not hands down.
Hands down. The one where Shayna was meant to wrestle and didn't wrestle.
So that was let's be honest. That one was that female tag showcase was a heap of shit. But one that was highlighted as a big exhibition match that everyone should be like looking forward to, and I thought it sucked. I don't know what it was like live, but the Hell in a Cell was nothing for me. Absolute bullshit. I was bored out of my fucking skull.
It was hard for me to be objective about that one because seeing it in front of you is like awe-inspiring.
Yeah.
So that one to have an honest opinion on, I'd have to go back and rewatch the match. It didn't set the world on fire. It just left me thinking Finn Balor is one of the hardest men in the world.
Oh God, when I saw the scar after, fuck me sideways.
The staples, bro, it looked like a fucking hoodie zipper.
Yeah. Charlotte Rhea was a good match though. Yeah.
Say what I said again. American wrestling fans suck. Dan and I did everything in our power to hype that crowd up and say, y'all sing for Edge's song, right? You're going to sing for Edge's song. Yeah! On this day, I see clearly. Are you joking right now?
When it comes to the UK, Kingdom's going to be huge. It's the first time people are going to really hear people say more than and Judas. Judas is huge. But
Rob, fucking come and watch AEW with us. Get Bigger Movie Pod and
yeah.
Rob, come and join the ministry at All in London. You better be there, my friend. As a wrestling fan, you better be there. And anyone else who is UK based too, who's a wrestling fan, get your asses down.
If you've got obscene amounts of money, and I feel because it's disgusting. It's not over £1,000, just under half. Feel free to join us for Money in the Bank as well, Rob. My contact might be able to get you a ticket next to us, if you wish.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do it. But All In's the big one. All In is the...
There's a video that's just past 1K that says people are split on that opinion. People are damn split on that opinion. But we are
people can be split all they want. Math is math. 90,000 is bigger than anything that they've ever done. So, math.
Yeah, math, not meth. People. Yeah. But anyway, 23 minutes.
Oh, Rob, I love you for this. I love you so much. Unpopular opinion, but Rob Zombie is better than Alter Bridge Edge for me. I completely agree with that.
It was, when he changed it, I was, God, this is not a wrestling pod. When he changed it, I was heartbroken.
So much.
Yeah, I was heartbroken because never going to stop me.
Come on.
It was such a banger. Can I just say this as well, Rob? If you go back long enough, and if the fact that you know the tune means you were there for long enough, that song was such a banger that I believe it was SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, if not Shut Your Mouth, one of those two, whichever one it was. When you completed season, Rob Zombie was the song to complete it.
Shut your mouth. I only know because I finished that game.
Because I want more. Yeah, banger.
So good. All right. Cleaning up this now. Mixed Memorabilia says, Nico, the ultimate star who has longevity and still has that star command. He's still acting now, in my opinion, Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a star. No fucking doubt. He's a star.
Just missed it for me.
Riri Thomas, Ricochet is one of my favorite wrestlers. What do you think of him? Ricochet outside of WWE, one of the best wrestlers in the world. Ricochet in WWE is a fucking Job Squad member. And if you like Ricochet in WWE, Riri, that's absolutely fine. But I invite you to go and watch an indie match between Ricochet and Will Ospreay.
It goes like this. It goes outside of WWE Ricochet, NXT Ricochet, WWE Ricochet. It kind of dwindles. It's sad. But
how you've like, bro, 5 years ago, people were saying he's the best wrestler in the world. Now he's a jobber. It's a joke. It's a fucking joke. That company is a joke thing, mate. Anyway, and Rob says, "Oh my Wembley, baby, fuck yeah, oh, baby, too." He's fucking Rob. See you at Wembley, brother. Let's get into the show, AJ. Come on.
Okay, cool. So before we do get into the show, would you like to tell everyone what the movie Mount Rushmore season 6 is all about? Not that it changed throughout the season. I was
going to say, it's always been the same ting-a-ling. Yes, it's basically a top 10 show between two best friends from school. Here's how the show works. AJ and I each get assigned a topic. We go our separate ways. We come right back here into the live stream and deliver to you the film familia, the silver screen dudes, the fans of the movie Mount Rushmore, and our dear close loved ones, our individual top 10s. This week, I will go first, delivering my bottom 3. AJ will then deliver his bottom 3. I will deliver my next 2. AJ will deliver his next 2. And then when we get to our top 5s, we will trade one apiece. If at any time one person has a movie in a higher position, why am I blanked? Fucking jet lag. That person will say,
punt?
If at any time while we're rounding off our individual top 10s, the person is moving in opposition. Yes, dickhead. Once we have both rounded off our individual top 10 lists, we will create the movie Mount Rushmore. These are the 4 quintessential diverse must-see movies of the genre, which this week is...
Must-see stars of this weekend. Top 10 movie stars, as defined by the Silver Screen Dudes, as best as they can. Okay, normally, guys, what happens after we have gone for the... We, the Silver Screen Dudes, have the challenge of creating the 4 must-see individual / movies, what have you. It gets even harder because it goes over to you. The screen is where you have to vote for, okay, pretend El Numero Uno, the best of the best of the best, with honors. And in the words of Highlander, in the end, it can only be the one. So, do you have what our contenders were from the last show?
I do.
So last show, our topic was
the best movie nominated for Best Picture that didn't win in the 21st century.
And the contenders were
The Wolf of Wall Street, There Will Be Blood, Top Gun Maverick, and Whiplash. Have a guess.
There Will Be Blood at 4.
No, sir.
Interesting. Whiplash.
Yes, sir. Whiplash came in at 4 with 17%.
There Will Be Blood at number 3?
No, sir.
Wow. I'm impressed. Do you know what it is? I just happened to have discovered that film, so I'm shocked at how many people have come across it. Maverick.
Yeah, hurt me. Top Gun Maverick came in at 3 with 22%.
Oh, by the way, for anyone else UK based, I am going to be contacting Cineworld soon for a Maverick private screening in 4DX. So hit us up. I'll get a date for you guys and let you know.
I'm there.
Yeah, I know you are. That's something like once you came back, I was like, yeah, shit, I said I was going to do that. But honestly, this past week, painful week. Painful week in taking work. Okay. I'm not shitting on this movie, but there's no way Wolf of Wall Street is not number 1. So There Will Be Blood at number 2.
Nope.
Fuck me sideways.
3 swings, and you're out of there for doubting Daniel Day-Lewis in the greatest acting performance of all time. Shame on you. Wolf of Wall Street came in at number 2 with 29%. There Will Be Blood won it, 32%. People know.
I'm not going to lie. It's when we done DDL. That's when I discovered this film. Like, I had never heard of it. Like, it's not that I remember having like massive cinema reviews about it and XYZ. So I'm always been like, well, it's there, but you have to be lucky enough to have seen it. You know, whereas the others are free films that are like out there.
Just quickly before we move on, so our podcast polls, as AJ mentioned, are hosted by JT at We Love Movies at Movie Polls for You. JT's currently in hospital recovering. Had quite a heavy operation over the course of the last week. So can everyone please, both in the comments section and on Twitter, please send JT your best and wish him a speedy recovery. He is a family man, father of 2, happily married, and we want JT back in the
Speedy
world.
recovery, my bro.
Oh, love to you, JT. We miss you, brother. Hope you're doing better.
That's the one. I'm going to turn my screen off for all of 10 seconds because I just realized I haven't plugged my charger in, and that's what provides internet for me. So give me 2 seconds and I'll be right back.
Cool. I'll just stand here by myself and decide what the fuck
I'll
to do.
just
Shall I, AJ?
refill your number 10.
I can't because you're going to say punt, dickhead. So...
Oh, good point. Well, you can. Oh, yeah, fair enough. Go.
Oh, dear. Shall we? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Stop. Yeah.
My number 10, Bigger Movie Pod. Rob mentioned him already. I think he's single-handedly the biggest movie star in the world still, despite what the box office numbers for The Rock are. I'm going to say Tom Cruise. He's my guy.
Guess what? Predicted it. Punt, dickhead. Sorry, you said I'm going to say punt, dickhead. So I said punt, dickhead. Okay.
In at number 9, this was actually the hardest position for me because I was always like, Tom Cruise, for me, can't compete with the other guys who I'm about to mention, although there's certainly an argument to be made that he could be higher. Just in my mind, he was like firm number 10. 9 was really hard. I nearly went with Kirk Douglas, nearly. But I've gone with someone who's really left his mark on Hollywood and such a star that face, that mustache, that shit recognizable from anywhere. Charlie Chaplin.
My number 9.
My man. My man.
So here's the thing. Do you know when I talk about iconicity earlier? Exactly what you described. That person, that individual, to me, especially after watching the De Niro Downey Jr. movie, shows to me he was the original Hollywood star. So can I say I've seen 101 Charlie Chaplin movies? No. Can I say I've seen 5? Probably not. However,
But that's the point. That's the fucking point.
And that's the thing. That's the star power of who he is. There are people my nephew's age and probably younger who may not even know the name, but will be familiar with the face and emotion. It's out there. I feel we are the last of a generation that were lucky enough to be able to quote certain names. You know, again, you could go back. We could quote something like Elvis, who's generational, had passed. You know, in the world of music. The Queen, yeah, we commemorated Freddie Mercury in the late 90s, in the early 90s, around the time he passed. And I think Charlie Chaplin is another one. Charlie Chaplin, and there's a duo. I don't know, have you got any duos in there? If I'm going to be cheeky, were you cheeky with it? Laurel and Hardy. You know, these were icons of their time that we were lucky enough to pass on. Now, when I had to play, I nearly put both in. I was like, no. But Charlie Chaplin is that name, that face, that icon, that walk. It was a Chaplin walk. Power of Charlie Chaplin. Did that go through?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to add much to what you said there, to be honest, AJ, because I'm actually in a similar boat to you. I've seen far fewer Charlie Chaplin movies that, as an aspiring cinephile, I probably should have. But you know, the big one, The Great Dictator, seen that one.
Yeah.
And that little motherfucker grabs your attention, man.
Yeah. He also batted twice for me because I was so adamant that I needed a Brit. I was like, I need to find someone British. There's got to be one who has. Oh, Chaplin! It stuck out, you know. So, yeah, you're right. He was, and to me, it's the original star, so it had to be honored.
Yeah. Nice pull on Laurel and Hardy, by the way. I love you for that, Mr. Cinephile.
Continue.
Drop Laurel and Hardy into our comic book chat. See how many people know who the fuck they are.
Yeah, intrigued.
That's the difference. You're a cinephile now, my friend. My number 8. The magnetism of this guy was quite something. Despite Little Cosmo potentially stealing scenes from him, I'm going to go with Gene Kelly. This guy's an all-timer.
Gene Kelly and Cary Grant were two names. Sorry, I spilled the beans on two names that very, very.
Cary Grant's not in there for me then. It was for exactly this reason. I was like, Gene or Cary, and I was like, I have to go Gene because Cary Grant definitely has an aura, but Gene Kelly, when you watch him, and yeah, I know Singing in the Rain, we've argued as a gazillion billion times, if that's even a number, but we've argued many times that you're drawn towards Cosmo, Donald O'Connor. That's not to take anything away from Gene, yeah?
No, look, someone can outdo someone in a certain performance, but let's be honest, when the film was being advertised, I'm very sure it was the latest Gene Kelly movie. Like, let's give it what it is. Yeah.
And then you watch him in An American in Paris, and it's just like, whew, man, this guy's got something. And then you watch it. Am I going mad? Is it On the Waterfront? No, that's the Brando movie. What fucking movie? Chat, help me out. Gene Kelly plays a sailor, comes to New York on R&R. Help. In the comments, help me out. I'm drawing an absolute blank on it. Pretty sure Sinatra was in it too. There's another star. Pedro Santos is here. Opa, opa, opa. But yes, please help me out. Gene Kelly, Sinatra.
On the Town?
Guys and Dolls. Thank you. Fuck me. Thank you, Pedro. No, On the Town. You got it right, AJ. Sorry. On the Town. Spot on.
Google got it right. I'm just going to put it out there. Google got it right more than AJ did. But yeah, thank you.
There you go. And yeah, that just look at the star power he has in there. The fact that I can remember him in that movie. I can't even fucking remember the movie's title. Again, literally what just happened now speaks volumes as to how much of a star he is. Fuck the movie. Gene Kelly's in it. And he's much the way people praise Hugh Jackman now as being one of the sort of last survivors of the holy trinity of sing, dance, act. I mean, Kelly paved that golden road, man. And he has such star quality and aura and a magnetism about him. He's got that special something, that je ne sais quoi. It's like, yes, you have that it. You are it. It's my age.
Yeah, I can't deny. Nothing more to add on that. That's a fact there.
What's your 10, AJ?
Okay, right. In at number 10 is the one that people said they prefer in Ring. It's the one you said doesn't believe it, but I feel in the new age, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has that star power.
Oh, he does.
It's something that I just feel like in an era where I feel most people are stars who have carried on. There are some that I think that won't have made your list because I know how diverse we are and realistic we are. But you've got people like your Downey Juniors. You've got people like others who are out there who have been named. Johnny Depp, for God's sakes. I don't know if Depp has made your. I hope he hasn't made your list. But they have been names who have been there from the.
Hope he hasn't. Why not?
Huh?
Why not? Depp's a star.
No, he's a star, but I'm saying I don't.
Oh, in that sense, I thought you were like, he's not worthy. I'm like,
no, fuck no. The only one I would say for that is Spacey. We all know why.
Anyway, not a star, but carry on.
but like in that sense of there are names that have lasted in the era where we had actual stars. I feel in a time where it has dwindled and it's names that have carried on, there is one name of the new era of actors who's been that star power. You will say it's not okay. He's in a lot of franchises. He's done X, Y, and Z, but people will be like, "Oh, The Rock's in a new film," and that's what gives me that he has that star quality. I heard everything you had said about Hemsworth, but Dwayne tops it.
No, you're right. Actually, I hadn't registered him in the moment. Here's how correct you are about The Rock being a star. People will regurgitate these two sound bites. He's the biggest movie star in the world. I mean, I don't agree. I think Tom Cruise smacks him sideways for that. But listen, that's the soundbite that people regurgitate. Again, I disagree with it being factual, because if he was such a big star and had such a commanding presence, where are you at for Black Adam? That's his that's his fucking baby. That movie didn't do so well. You know what I mean? And that's like Dwayne Johnson, superheroes. Two things that the populous money spenders, which pretty much is what box office qualifies on, didn't show up for either of those two things. So however factually correct that soundbite is irrespective. It's a soundbite that people use. And the other one, which again, I do not fucking agree with for a moment, but it's a popular one. It's The Rock's the franchise saver. It's like, shut the fuck up.
I have heard it enough.
That's my favorite. The Rock saved the Fast and the Furious franchise. I'm like, bruh, that franchise didn't need saving. That franchise is all sorts of stupid, and it just embraces that. You're either ride or die along for the ride, or it's just not for you. Both of those answers are absolutely fine. But Fast 5, which is where The Rock first appeared, and which I stand by being the best Fast and Furious movie, is not the best because of The Rock. It's the best because they literally did a fucking Avengers Assemble and put everyone from the franchise in the movie and said, go tap ass in Brazil. It's like, okay, I'm on board.
Yeah.
He is a star.
Do you know what I would say? I would say he's not the franchise saver, but you know you're in a franchise if you've got The Rock, because that fucker will turn up anywhere. He's the Sam Jackson with just that bit more star power, because he can headline the movie. Like that's who he is. You know you're a franchise if The Rock's in it. Obviously, Marvel have done 4 phases without the fucker, but you get where I'm going.
Bigger movie pod with a big diss. The Rock was best in The Mummy when he was shit CGI. Damn.
Wow, do you smell it?
Yeah, remember the caveat we have here. None of these people need to be great actors. They can be, but there's one thing that's indisputable. The Rock has massive star power. Massive. Bro, I've gone as far as to say, in front of a room full of borderline homophobic men, yourself included, I even dropped the line.
Whoa. What do you mean borderline homophobic?
Why is Siri talking to me when I said borderline homophobic? Shut up, Siri. Okay, let me ask you this. What was your reaction? Truthfully, if you dare,
truthfully, I can be very truthful with the New Day. I know exactly where you're going.
You want to repeat this? The New Day thing, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, dead that. I'm like, dead
no,
that.
That's not what you said.
Don't say it because of a cancellation.
I'm not going to say it, but that's what I mean by borderline.
I don't need to see on script. Now you're going to make me sound like I'm borderline. I have no problem with anybody having any preference out there. Like every person, I feel like those people. I'm not racist. I've got black friends. I'm not gay. I'm not homophobic. I've got gay friends. No, it's not fuck all to do with that. There are certain things I just don't want to see in the ring. Now, when like, man slapping man meat has got fuck all to do with that. I'm all down with that. Do what you want to do, B. But I don't need to see 2 men carouseling and a man using another man's ass as a drum. I don't need to see it.
That's cool. What did you say?
No, you're gonna make. As I said, now you're gonna. For fuck's sake! Because 1, I can't remember entirely what I said, but 2,
I can. It resonated with me.
Because I'm gonna say, don't say it because it's gonna lead to cancellation.
Yeah, it will. Don't repeat.
Which I'm not after. And 2, it was in the heat of I'm not down with that action. Again, everyone is love, and I know.
But what was funny?
But don't say borderline homophobic because if I have a problem with people, I don't.
No, you don't. It was just so easy because of that one instance where I'm in a room full of very straight men. Even I had the testicular fortitude to step up and go, look at The Rock. He just looks like he smells really good. And he does. Bring up that photo of him again, bro. Yeah. Look at this.
Where is it? Oh, sorry, I scrolled.
Number 10. Bring that shit up. That, not the one on the left so much, but the one on the right. Yeah. That is a man who looks like he's got some good Jean-Paul Gaultier perfume on, you know?
And let's be honest, the film was shit, but he looks the part. He looks suave. He looks that guy. You want to be that guy.
Bigger Movie Pod says, I see your New Day and raise you Big Daddy V.
That was some weird shit. That was so. Guys, for anyone who's not familiar with Big Daddy V, actually at the time, world's largest love machine, Viscera, type in Visagra. Visagra.
No, don't. Francis Leon says, at Nico, thinking you may be confusing star power with demographic draw. Are the two mutually exclusive? ?
Yes, they are. And I'll tell you why.
Tell me.
Because I started to lean for the draw. The biggest drawing actor right now of all time, higher than Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Do you know who it is?
Will Ferrell would be my guess.
No. At number 1 for
Mark Wahlberg?
movie draws. Huh?
Mark Wahlberg.
No.
Huh.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. No, this guy's been absolutely everything. He's been everywhere. But is he a star? As I said, just falls off. No one says the Sam Jackson movie. The Rock makes big money. The Rock is everywhere. Do you get what I'm saying? You could say I'm going to.
Well, he makes big money nearly everywhere, just not Black Adam.
Fair point. Fair point.
And I watched that shit on the plane, and I was like, "Dead this."
I can't do it. I can't do it. It was an AJ Vision watch. I've not finished the film. I was like, this is
dragging. Bro, it's not good. It's not dragging. A good film.
And I think people probably did go to see it, but you know where people like yourself will go and see, let's say, Endgame 6 times. I'm just using
it's a great comparison.
No, I'm talking comic book movie as opposed to like something like The World, which you may have seen 12, or Top Gun, which you've quoted, like comic book movies at the top of the run, something like that. Because the film was so shit. So yes, the masses drew out. Yes, The Rock. Yes, Black Adam. Let's see what he's been talking about all this time. But the film dragged. I was like, what the fuck is this? I've not finished it, and I'm not in a rush to finish it.
The kid with the skateboard needs to die.
That's 3 friends who said that. Wow.
And whoever wrote that character should get sacked.
Yeah, it wasn't a good.
Sorry, that was some Vince McMahonian fucking script writing. Oh, that's some good shit right there. Kid on a skateboard. It's like, are you joking with me? Stop treating your audience like they're dickheads.
It could actually be Vince. Who knows? Dwayne. It
wouldn't surprise me.
The Dude Busters. Johnny, what did you guys just come out with? Johnny Ace, skateboard. Give the kid a skateboard.
Right.
Anyway.
So that was your 10. What's your 9?
My 9, we discussed Charlie Chaplin.
Mm-hmm. Your 8?
And it was before people mentioned him, because it was going to be someone else. Again, as I said, poster in your old studio. And then I brought out this guy, Bruce Lee. Do you remember when I first said it? I was like, fuck Bruce Lee. And I feel the
moment Mixed Memorabilia brought it up, my heart sank. I forgot him.
I could, if it wasn't for the fact that I've been toying with my number 8 for as long as I did. Do you remember the minute I came onto you? I was like, fuck, what do you mean forgot one? I was like, Bruce Lee, how the fuck did I forget Bruce Lee? Which is stupid, but the man is martial arts. Like, it's not like, okay, you could talk Jackie Chan, you could talk the Chow Wong Fats, Jet Li's, everything. Everyone compares them to who? Bruce Lee. He was that draw. We are decades away from his death. His son has played him in a film because he was that much of a star. Decades after that, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Tarantino enters who into the fray? One of the most heartbreaking scenes for many people, including myself. Bruce Lee. Like, the man was the ultimate fighting machine. He is the representation of martial arts, of everything.
He created his own martial art, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, he has been molded in every freaking fighting game you can ever look at. There is someone who has a Bruce Lee-esque moment in them. You know,
fuck yeah, like, martial law, Tekken, looking at you. Jan Lee.
It doesn't get any closer.
Jan Lee, dead or alive, looking at you. Yeah. Like, that guy is a mimic, man.
He is that guy.
Fun fact, did you know that the UFC open finger gloves were also invented by Bruce Lee?
No, I didn't.
Even in the Ultimate Fighting Championship, there's the presence of Bruce Lee. Every single fighter with those open finger gloves, that shit's all Bruce Lee.
My personal favorite Tarantino and Uma Thurman movie, Kill Bill. What costume does everyone remember? The one that pays homage to, you guessed it, Bruce Lee. I don't think Bruce Lee should be my number 8. It's just that my number 8 was the category that I was fighting with. I'm very...
Which, by the way, tangent, fuck's sake, I never even fucking drew comparison there. You know how I've said for so long that Tarantino would not disrespect Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. That is an unreliable narrator. That shit did not fucking happen. And people are like, no, it's just your interpretation. I'm like, Kill Bill! The guy's literally fucking paying homage to one of his heroes. How is he going to go and disrespect him 5 movies later?
Can I also be honest with that? Yes, they lost, but he paid homage to them twice, because not only is Uma dressed a la Kill Bill, the Crazy 88 is literally 88 versions of Kato. Like, it doesn't get more Bruce Lee appreciation than that. Like, It is what it is. I actually feel like my number 8 and number 5 should have been swapped. I really do. I will leave it because it's the way my nature has produced it, but I'm going to regret that later on. But it is what it is.
We shall see. So that was your 8. All right, my 7. Whew. I saw. Let me reveal who it is first and then give some story just to add to how freaking cool this man is. The second coolest man in history, in my humble opinion, Mr. James Dean.
My former number 8. my former number 8.
Now you're number 7, yeah?
No, I just didn't. I took him off. I'll be honest.
Former number 8.
I'm familiar with him. I don't know.
Have you not seen Rebel Without a Cause?
No.
Whew. So, bro, okay, that's one of the great coming of age teen movies. Like great coming of age teen movies. The star power of this guy. Let me just tell a little story here. There were 3 instances when I was in Los Angeles just last week that you could feel the presence of James Dean. One was at Griffith Park Observatory.
I had a feeling that would be one of them.
Bro, not only is his presence felt there is literally queues of people waiting to have their photos taken at the spot where he was. They've got a memorabilia bust of James Dean at the entrance of the observatory, literally saying like he's the guy who paved the way to turn this prior to 1955, prior to the release of Rebel Without a Cause in 1955, Griffith Park Observatory was not filmed in Hollywood. After that movie, it became a fucking repeated icon. Singing in the Rain, La La Land, yada, 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 yada. It goes on and on and on and on. The Walk of Fame, people are just walking up and down the Walk of Fame getting photos of the stars. And Gavin, I think it was you to address your question earlier. I did get the star of the recent Star of Ray Liotta. I got that one. That was the first one.
Yes, I saw that today, actually.
Yeah, that was like,
that touched me. It touched me.
Me too, bro. But like the fucking massive people waiting to get James Dean's star was like, okay, whoa. And then, funnily enough, also on the Walk of Fame in the Chinese, the Chinese theater, inside the Chinese theater, they've got his actual attire, the original film attire from Rebel Without a Cause. Bro, can I tell you, there was no one else in there with me. Den Tech and my mate Francesco were there. But when I say like general crowd, because we were in like a middle of the day showing for John Wick 4, I saw that and I literally got weak at the knees that I dropped and just had to just sit down and go, like, just his fucking clothes have star power. And I'm not exaggerating. It hit me like, holy shit. James Dean wore that. It's undeniable the quality this guy had.
Do you know who done that for me? Weirdly, I didn't drop to my knees, but I was like, I have to do it. Freddie Mercury, when I went Hard Rock Cafe, I need to see Freddie's whatever the Freddie had. Like it was there. Then it hit me. Oh shit, there's Michael Jackson stuff. Like, I was the main person who I wanted to see like their memorabilia, Freddie Mercury. So that's all kinds of awesome that you see.
Sure. You ask me Elton John or Freddie, it's Freddie every day.
Let's not even get into that movie debate again because I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Nope, nor me. Welcome back, Billy. Thank you for joining us again. Francis Lalonde says, I like James Dean's films, but I'm not a fan of him. Fan or not, listen, you can't deny the star quality.
Yeah. There is one other lady, but I don't know where to squeeze her in. Her name kept popping in, but I'll bring it up later around this same sort of. But anyway, we digress. James Dean.
And yes, Billy, I did go to the Chinese theater. I was privileged to see John Wick Chapter 4 in there. Highly recommended. Let down by a weak-ass ending, though. But
can I ask a question? That I feel is really weird, but it's very fitting for like today and that statement that you've just said. First of all, that is it in Everyman Cinema? This just Chinese.
No, I fucked up in the walkout.
Okay, right. That's the first part because I just wasn't sure if they were linked when you said that. Like, oh, is it? Do you believe certain films need? How can I say it? I went to see Air in a picture house cinema today. Yeah, I needed a drama. Do you feel certain films have a certain feel in a certain cinema? I don't believe I should pay, and it's not that I'm not in the mood to see it. John Wick 4 in a picture house or an Everyman. I feel it needs to be like a View or a Cineworld. I don't know why. I just feel like it needs. Those cinemas are too fancy and too arty to watch a film like that.
So I think a movie like those fancier cinemas by proxy usually have smaller screens. The blockbusters were made for being viewed on giant super screens or IMAX, maximum Dolby Atmos surround sound. That's literally how they were designed to be viewed. So by all means, give the lesser horrible word. Give the
artier cinema,
less corporate cinemas some money for whatever reason, because love your cinema. But listen, there's definitely an argument to be made that you should see a big blockbuster on the biggest fucking screen possible. But I would also argue that the argument is twofold, because the smaller arty films shouldn't just exclusively be viewed in the smaller cinemas, because I think it's really important, as we were discussing earlier in the chat, in our private WhatsApp chat rather, to send a message to the big cinema chains that we are interested. Because Big Tone was saying earlier, like, oh, it will happen. I'm like, it's happened already, bro. AJ, think of that marathon day we had 4 years back now, where we saw 4 movies in a row. You remember that one of the movies we wanted to see was 13 Lives?
Yeah.
That shit was gone, brother.
Yeah.
And that is what I would qualify as a AA movie. Doesn't have the biggest budget. It has a big name to it in Antonio Banderas, but didn't get a huge box office level marketing push. It was just there in the multiplex and no one fucking saw it. So what did the multiplexes do? You're out, make room for whatever the fuck it was, Bumblebee or something. But so you see what I mean? It's like, you do need to send a message to the multiplexes via your Wanga to let them know that, hey, we are also interested in the independent and more art house stuff.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But then, like, we saw Youth that day as well. The very art house movie.
Michael Caine and Harvey Keitel.
It was Keitel. I was blanking on Keitel. It was Keitel.
Good film.
Yeah. Was it Keitel?
Yeah, it was Keitel, 100%.
And like, I'm just thinking, I would have, like, maybe the chairs are just that bit more comfier to sit back and watch these kind of art house movies. But it's weird. It was just something I've really thought of, because like, Missile has been like, so when are we going to use the voucher? And I'm like, I'm not going to go and watch that in there. Like, I wouldn't say to her, I'm going to go and watch Super Mario Brothers with my voucher in there. That's City World all day. That's View all day. It was just one of those bits.
Sure. Yeah. Because those big movies are meant to be seen on a big screen. I agree with that sentiment. Cool. I mean, look. Listen, if someone, it's like saying to someone, listen to this amazing piece of, I don't know, fucking classical music on shitty dollar store headphones. It's like, you listen to that and then listen. Not that I'm assimilating independent cinemas to shitty dollar store headphones. That wasn't the point I'm making. Is that listen to something how it's meant to be listened to. A big movie with big explosions, look at it big,
Yeah.
But I maintain, don't do that exclusively. I think, here we go. Here's where I'm going to differentiate. Blockbusters, watch them exclusively in multiplexes. Art house movies, indie movies, AA or single A movies, watch them everywhere. Because they need support. The blockbusters do not.
I can give you that. Cool.
So James Dean was my number 7. My number 6. From the second coolest man in history to the coolest man in history. Steve McQueen, baby. Now that's a fucking star.
It's McQueen you've got the poster of. I keep thinking it was James Dean. Now I've seen McQueen's fucking poster. I'm like, yes, it's Steve McQueen he's got.
Bro, look at, just take in this photo. Apologies for those of you on Pod Squad. Do you see what I am looking at? Do you see the swagger and confidence and godlike aura of this living creature that was called Steve McQueen? Fuck.
Yeah.
Bullet is not a good film.
No, it's not. I remember watching it when we were talking about car. I can't remember what it was, but we was talking about like greatest car scenes or something like that. And Bullet like kind of we wanted it to be, and then we're like, it's not as good as we expected it to be. Everyone mentions it. It's not that good.
But how much are you like lasered in on McQueen?
Yeah.
Papillon. Steve McQueen cannot hold a candle to Dustin Hoffman as far as acting goes, and he is not a bad actor. He is absolutely not a bad actor. He's actually a very accomplished actor, I would say. He's not fucking Dustin Hoffman.
No.
Oh, but my goodness, are you able to take your eyes off of Steve McQueen? Are you fuck? Steve McQueen in The Great Escape is surrounded by fucking some of the greats of cinema, the likes of Richard Attenborough, James Garner, fucking Kill Switch. What's his name? Danny, Polish, not Polish actor, Polish character. Why am I blanking on him? Anyway, clearly still jet lagged. He's surrounded by some of the greats of cinema. Who are you looking forward to seeing in every single scene? Steve motherfucking McQueen, right?
For sure.
He is the coolest man in history. I love him so much. I can't get it out. It's in my daughter's room and she's asleep. I love Steve McQueen so much that I have a Barber jacket with Steve McQueen's photo printed on the inside of it. Why? Because Steve McQueen used to rep for Barber. And I was like, full circle.
Nice. That's
Charles Bronson. Thank you, Francis Lalonde.
Yeah. No, there's not much I can add. He was that guy. He had that cool, that edge.
Nico wants to be Steve McQueen. Who the fuck doesn't? Like, AJ would go white. That's how cool Steve McQueen is.
Give up these wonderful locks. The spiders. It's a bit
spiders in the dim lane. Hey, Rob, there you go. You heard it first time. When I was on the Bigger Movie Pod, AJ, I mentioned our little run-in in...
yes, yeah, I remember.
I mentioned the dim lane spider aficionado. That was wonderful.
The more you know. The more you know.
The more you know, right? Oh, we're not in the big city anymore. We are literally in the valley.
We're a long way from Kansas.
Yeah, literally, right? All right, man, that's cool. So, cool. Yeah. Over to you, brother.
Cool. Yeah, I wish I could add more. He just has this cool that even without seeing much of his films, and again, Great Escape is the one that I always remember watching. Like, this guy's cool. Yeah, that's the guy you want to be in this movie. Like, he just has that. He just has that. Right.
The planes in the castle.
Right. My number 7, the magnetism I have for this lady based on one film alone has always been that. I've always talked about that film, just the magnetism I felt in there. But I took a poster from a film I personally didn't enjoy, but it's iconic as fuck.
Punt.
Audrey. Okay, cool.
Punt for Mrs. Audrey. Yep.
Cool.
Go.
Cool. Very glad you had that. Number 6. This is one that you mentioned earlier, who has both great acting skills and star power. And he came into my head kind of. It's one of those that you ask a lot of people who's your favorite actor. This guy will come up many a time. You ask a lot of guys, I will say on this one. Not so many women.
Does he smell good?
He oozes cool. He oozes cool. You've got a shitload of these films. A lot of people say that his film is their favorite film within this trilogy. I'm talking Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Again, I have this beef with my number 5 because each time I pull up another great, I'm like, really, motherfucker? But number 5, I just remember being consistent for a very long time. It will come up later. But Robert De Niro is that guy. And what I like about Robert De Niro, which nearly made him a lot higher, is the generations that you can talk about. He's respected for different styles throughout the generations. Like, now he's more of the comedy, but he's got the edge. He's, the gangster, the psycho, whether you're talking Raging Bull, whether you're talking Taxi Driver. There is that machismo that comes with Robert De Niro. And yeah. I was torn. And there's 2 things that I was like, you could do De Niro, you got to do Pacino as well, because it's always like,
watch Heat, and then you'll find out.
Well, there we go. Heat was one of them. And again, I said the other one I had to do, short of The Irishman. Let's play the game. Who's still around? Who's still around? Robert De Niro is still doing stuff. People will be like, even if we can talk diversity because I've never seen Al Pacino do a Meet the Parents or a Dirty Grandpa, but it's
sorry, Al Pacino and Dirty Grandpa.
It'd be fucking insane.
I need a fuck. She's got a great ass, and I want to put my head right up it.
Right up. You can imagine the overacting.
Literally, the way the way De Niro turns to Efron, like in the opening act of the movie, and he's like, "I love your grandmother. She's dead. I need to fuck." Can you imagine? I need to fuck, and I need to do it right now.
You've actually made the film better.
Oh, Jesus.
I was bad for Rob, and now I'm like, huh.
No, Pacino and Dirty Grandpa would be amazing. I'm not even lying. That I would. Oh.
To anyone in Hollywood listening, we need Dirty Grandpa Part 2 featuring Al Pacino. Just even if you did it for 5 minutes in a retirement home, talking to De Niro. I need to fuck right now. Like, I just need
right now. Put my head right up her ass. But you also know Pacino's the type of guy who would ruin that last line of the movie because he'd probably go ad lib on it. Yeah. Which I think is one of the great last lines of a movie when he's shagging Aubrey Plaza and she goes, "Are you coming or dying?" Pacino would go full meta ad lib on that and be something like, "What's the difference?"
As long as you're happy, babe. As long as you're happy. Yeah, yeah. But that's right the thing. I just. There was something.
No, about I got it. You know what he would do? He would drop in a line leading up to "Are you coming or dying?" Are you ready for what that one line is, AJ? Hooah! I need to fuck right now. Hooah! Whoo! And breathe and drink Bruce Lee's favorite drink.
Okay. Oh fuck.
Whew.
How did this go from a De Niro?
You fucked up by bringing in Dirty Grandpa.
Pacino. Yeah. But yeah, I just felt that Robert De Niro, again, my favorite out of the two, and he has just lasted, and that's something that you can't deny. You know, I talked about certain stars who've gone there. A lot of the stars that I will bring up came a while after him, and they're still here. This guy has been doing it for a minute now, and that's where I think the respect needs to be paid. And he has both. He has star quality, and he can act. So, props to Rob.
Question to you here, AJ, from Billy Mount. I know that your answer is going to be no, but AJ, did you think Air was Ben Affleck's best film in his comeback for directing?
No.
Argo.
Yeah, Argo is still that film for me. Depends when we're talking slumps. Like I can tolerate him in as Batman. I don't want to be rude.
No, directing slump. So that.
Oh, if we're talking directing, no. I mean, Argo is that movie. I can't think of anything between those that I've seen.
Jiggly was really good. We Own the Night was it Ben Affleck who did We Own the Night? What was that movie? That period gangster movie that he was both in and directed. I'm pretty sure it's We Own the Night, which wasn't fantastic.
Yeah, Argo is a standout to me for Affleck as a director. If you look at the comeback,
The Town is really good. The Town is excellent.
Yeah,
but I don't imagine Air is better than any of those.
See, I've not seen them, so this is the thing. Like, I can't bat on something.
Is Air better than Argo?
No.
There you go. So it's not your favorite film.
No, this is what I'm saying. It won't be my favorite, but I'm talking on a comeback basis. That's what I'm saying. That's what's hard for me to say without seeing anything. I've not seen a lot of Affleck directed movies, to be honest. But like, what was I say warming in a weird sense? It was nice to see him and Damon together again, And it was good that none of them were shit. Like normally, I'm almost Team Damon, like without shitting on Affleck. It's just what it is. It is what it is.
Chalk and cheese, mate. Night and day.
Yeah, but it was good to see both of them again, and I was like, that's nice. But it's Damon's movie all day long, and I think Affleck done him a solid in directing him the way he did and giving him the way. Not that you need a solid if your name's Matt Damon at all, but it was a good film. It's a nice film, but it's not his best. No, I'll go for the win 100 times over for me.
Yeah, can't comment. Haven't seen her.
As per your message to me earlier, you fucker, you beat me to it. Okay, so you're number 5.
Was the punt from just now, Audrey Hepburn?
I mean, can we just look at that face for a minute? And it's not
angelic.
Yeah, it's legit. It's that. It's not the usual. Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis in True Lies. It's not the kissing scene from Cruel Intentions. There was just something innocent, pure, and magnetic about this woman. I say it time and time again. That the poster I brought up from Breakfast at Tiffany's is literally it's as iconic as your Steve McQueen picture. It's absolutely everywhere. But I say this so much. I more than Roman Holiday that had me stop and watch someone and just be like, ah. And this is a Keira Knightley fan, but like there are many stars up and down, left and right, as far as I'm concerned. But that film, I'm just like a moth to a flame. Honestly, I don't want to get poetic on it.
So Roman Holiday is your Audrey movie. For me, it's got to be My Fair Lady.
See, I told you the funny thing about it? I've never seen the film. I've seen the beginning of the film.
Wonderful.
And I happened to have caught the end recently. There's a reason behind it where it's a promise to my missus that we'll watch it together. She was in a bit of a downtime and we would try to watch it. Saw the play. Absolutely love the play. And I've read Pygmalion. But yeah. Maybe it'll come through to it. But just the way I saw her in the opening moments of Roman Holiday, she just stuck to me from there. I was like, wow. You're something special, you are.
No, she really is. She really fucking is. Yeah. 3 iconic movies. Well, the 3 big iconic movies all left their mark on cinema history. I wouldn't say that Audrey's a terrible actress, but I also wouldn't go so far as to call her one of the greats. You know, if you're going to compare her with someone like her namesake, but unrelated namesake, Katharine Hepburn. Katharine is a different category of actor to Audrey.
Yeah.
And yet Audrey's the one people go to.
Yeah, I can give you that. There's something. It's truth. It's truth. Again, something like Breakfast at Tiffany's. I remember really sometimes I would say films sometimes have a time and a place. If you're hyped and there's something that I couldn't get on board with that movie. I just found it dragged. I was like, it was like some socialite who bored the fuck out of me. That's what Breakfast at Tiffany's was for me. But let's be honest, and I'm going to put it up again just for the fact of it. Everybody has seen this poster. Like, it is everywhere. It is absolutely everywhere. Again, Pod Squad, 1 hour and 13 minutes. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So, and that's what I'm talking about. Certain stars, you may not know the name. You'll recognize the face and the picture. There's one other person coming up who also has that they've just lasted the test of time. You've got your Chaplins, your Hepburns, and I personally believe McQueen, and then there's one more in that pantheon of must be recognized.
Yeah, agreed. And I'm sure we're both going to mention them. All right, so my 5, your 5.
Okay, cool. It's your turn.
No, I just gave my 5. Audrey.
I'm sorry, that was your. Sorry. Oh, God, I'm just all over the place. I spoke so much. Like it was my number. Right. Okay. My number 5. As I said, when I compare it to the others, I still feel this guy shouldn't be there. But there was a time every summer, his name was that name.
Oh, I know where you're going.
Yeah. Mr. Will Smith. He was the box office.
Controversial. Woo.
I know it's controversial, but it's real. It's real. what was going to be controversial is the best picture when you type in Will Smith nowadays is him holding an Oscar, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. You're not baiting me, Google. You're not baiting me. I paid to see Chris Rock twice, motherfucker. You were not showing me with an Oscar in that guy's hand. But I have to be real. Like, he went from, like, 6 Degrees of Separation isn't a film that a lot of people can talk about. Like, they can't say they've seen it. He was the Fresh Prince. He went from being the Fresh Prince to giving Fresh Prince, but we won't go there. Sorry, couldn't help it. But from Bad Boys onwards, like, the films just kept on coming. People were like, the Will Smith movie. It was that. You talk Bad Boys 2, Hitch, Hancock, as bad as it was. There was a film in my head, Independence Day. Like, ID4 literally took him to a whole new stratosphere. You know,
Independence Day is one of my favorite action movies ever.
Yeah, it sucked, but everybody was in.
What? No, it didn't.
No. Hold on, let me finish my sentence. We're not talking Independence Day now.
You said it sucked.
I'm finishing the sentence. It sucked, but everybody made their way out to see Wild Wild West. Like, it was like, it's a Will Smith movie. What's it about? Let's do it.
I weirdly commend Wild Wild West for trying something so radically
different.
different.
I have fun with Wild Wild West, but I'm aware that it's not the greatest of Will Smith movies. I can also acknowledge where it is on the level. I don't hate Wild Wild West, but if you're going to tell me in the levels of great Will Smith movies to bad Will Smith movies, it's on the lower end. You know what I mean?
Bigger Movie Setup Pod says, can't forgive Big Willie for Wild Wild West in song and movie.
But this is the thing. Will Smith was that guy who had you going to see the films. Nod Your Head wasn't it, but he would bang out a film and a track with it. Like, I know it's not as big as people make it out to be. Like, everyone pictures like Will Smith's got a film, he's going to do a song. It wasn't a Bad Boy song. It was mainly just Men in Black and Wild Wild West. But he had everyone going like, shit, he could do everything. Will Smith is the man.
I hear you say, nod your head, black suits coming. You didn't like it?
Nah, fuck it. It had nothing on Men in Black.
Oh, I like Nod Your Head. I really like Nod Your Head. Fuck it. I even like Wild Wild West. Freaking wow.
Cisco just giving it all with those chaps.
We're going straight to...
No. Yeah. It was a great laugh.
Love it. Although, Pedro Santos, you need to get out of my grill with this comment, brother. Independence Day is on the same quality level as Point Break. Behave.
Stop it. I remember, again, my mate Sean Francois, there's a throwback to you if you remember Sean Francois. He had the VHS and he gave me that. And I remember being pumped as hell. And I remember the kid who played, I think his cousin Nicky was playing his stepson in Independence Day. Oh, this is so cool. And from there going on, I was all in. Whereas Point Break, within 2 minutes of seeing Keanu Reeves spitting a gun in the rain, I was like, fuck this, I can't do this anymore. I really want to finish Point Break because I've heard like everyone loves it and Nick has waved the flag that I also agreed with. I was like, I can't do this.
One has Nazi surfers, one has Jeff Goldblum.
Welcome to Earth, motherfucker. Welcome. What the hell is motherfucker? But
there's no motherfucker, but that would have made it even better.
It would have, wouldn't it? Yeah. But yeah. Come
Riri
on,
Thomas,
bro.
I need to address this. Timothy Chalamet, star or future star? Neither. I'm a huge fan, but feel he's underrated a bit by the masses. Timothy Chalamet, hear this now. Y'all know the love that I have for Daniel Day-Lewis. Timothy Chalamet is the heir to Daniel Day-Lewis if he carries on the way he's going.
Fantastic actor. I don't think he will have the star power.
I don't think he's a star. Jason Momoa is a big star, for instance. Not a great actor, but a big star. Chalamet is an amazing actor. Amazing actor. He's a thespian, not a star.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that. There are people who will be familiar with him for the works that he's done. Wonka will help elevate him a lot more as well.
I'm really fucking interested to see what he does with that.
So am I. I hope he knocks it out of the park, if I'm honest. I really hope he does. Bad direction could just make it go the other way. It's not the actor in this case, it's the director. But I still feel I think that could be the turning point in making him a star. Because if Wonka, which has that love that people will lead into, it can put him into star element and conversation. He'll always be a great actor. You will never be able to take that from him, but it's that star power that will come with it. He needs that star breaking movie. As good as he is in June, it just didn't get the attraction it required. And I feel the other films he's
got critical attraction, rightfully so. The one which really made me stand up and take notice of him was Wes Anderson's movie, The French Dispatch, where this was no small feat they gave him. Do you know who he had to share nearly all of his screen time with?
Is it Bill Murray by any chance?
A little goddess called Frances McDormand. And he fucking held his own, bro, against France.
It's really funny. It's funny you bring up that film because I actually looked at the trailer yesterday on
it's awesome.
I knew it wasn't going to be a film the other half was going to be into. So
not for her.
Oh, I knew it from the minute the trailer was on. But I was like, I'm going to give it. It's weird because I didn't think I'd like Grand Budapest, but I did, and I can see Anderson all over this as well. You can see the mirroring cinematic style of it, and I'm like, am I going to enjoy this? That was the question I had in my head. So it's one on my list. It's on my radar. The more I watch the trailer, the more intrigued I was by the film.
Bigger movie pod firing shots at me. So tired of Wes Anderson. I can't get enough of Wes Anderson, bro. It's what I do for a living, videography and cinematography. I got a hard on for what he does with symmetry. Pedro Santos says, you guys have a weird conception of a star. Jason Momoa, what big hit did he carry on his name recognition appeal alone? That's the point. None.
But that's
and yet you
exactly
know who the fuck he is.
Exactly
You've literally just summed up why he's a star. He's done nothing, and yet people know
talking him. New Year, this New Year just gone, and Aquaman happened to be on the TV at my grandparents' house. Not my uncle's house, sorry. It was at my uncle's house, and my family were there. And I'm not saying, like, my aunts are kind of into the comic book movies. They'll give it their time and what have you. Like, one aunt specifically, because she is one of my cousins is around the age where you'd kind of watch those films. However, both aunts could draw and talk about Mr. Momoa in ways that I really didn't want to hear either of my aunt talk about a man. Right. But that's who he is.
Also, just want to say, he's the only person in the DC universe whose movie graced $1 billion. So, to note as well. And let's also remember, he's not playing Batman or Superman. He's playing fucking Aquaman, the guy who society deems talks to fish. That movie made $1 billion.
Yeah. There you go. We had the Justice League. Aquaman.
You had Batman versus Superman, which under the right directorship and writing, you can say what you want. I'm not talking about the movie we got.
Yeah, the title alone.
That movie is a $2 billion movie.
Yeah.
It didn't get anywhere near that because word got out very quickly that it's a stoinker.
Yeah.
That title alone is money.
That title alone should kill the entire MCU.
In one go.
If directed correctly, that title alone, and if, again, going back to what you said, if directed the right way, drop in the hint of, and Wonder Woman's in it. That's all you needed to say. If directed correctly, would have killed money. There should be no even a conversation of what is the highest grossing comic book movie if that was done correctly. The name alone sells it.
So in a universe where we've had Batman versus Superman, fucking Aquaman grossed $1 billion. So to your point here, Pedro, no one is lining up to see the new Jason Momoa movie. Well, made $1 billion, so clearly they were.
People don't hire him because he can't act, but he when he's on, he's on. It's a fact. It is what it is.
That man is the only one who's made $1 billion in the DCU. Justice League, Batman versus Superman, like
Black Adam,
fucking Shazam, even Man of Steel, which I maintain is the best DC movie, but yeah, none of them got close to doing what Momoa's numbers did. Like it or not, that motherfucker has got star power. I don't think he can act to save his skin, but he got star power.
And again,
also, even take Aquaman off the table. No one's lining up to see him. Did you not hear what AJ just said about the females in his family? And I have to say, my wife is the same. I even said to my wife, do you want me to grow a beard and grow my hair even longer? She went, you can't pull it off. That's my wife.
I broke my heart, please. But it's real.
Look at him. Like
Yeah.
he's like some sexy gypsy. You know, you can't mess with that aura.
Let's be honest. Khal Drogo was not someone worth mentioning in fucking Game of Thrones. He was because of who he was played by. Like, people stop and pay attention to the guy.
That's a great point. That's a great point. He did jump out the screen in Game of Thrones. You just noticed him.
Yeah.
It's a great point. How the fuck are we arguing that Momoa is not a star? Moving on.
I'm going to just point out one more thing. Like, Batman versus Superman stunk. Okay, Wonder Woman was good. But the world wasn't very DC by this point. Like, 2 films preceded it, and people still went to chase that. It's not like he was the first one to set pace. There were 2 films that people aren't very crazy about. I like Wonder Woman, but people weren't crazy about
Suicide Squad people hated. I'm on a small island of people who
adore that. We're
movie.
talking like 3 DC movies came out before it, and people were like, fuck him. Aquaman came out with $1 billion.
The fish guy.
Yeah. And no one talks about Aquaman. No one.
Oh, and by the way, before that movie made $1 billion, the octopus playing drums had become a very popular meme. So people knew what the fuck this movie was about and still went to watch it. Octopus playing drums grossed $1 billion. Just let that sink in. It weren't the octopus that brought people in.
And it wasn't the former Mrs. Depp. It was one person.
Long may that drama continue. I can't wait for season 2. Because that was the best legal case I've ever watched.
Anyway, so that was my number 5. Over to you, sir. Your number 4.
My number 4, funnily enough, we're taking shots at Pedro at the moment, but Pedro did mention my number 4. Possibly the most beautiful woman in history?
No,
magnetic star power?
That was my number 7.
Grace Kelly.
That's another one of those names that was in my head that I've not seen. Do you have any more women in your list?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Grace Kelly, bro. Fucking Grace Kelly.
Is your next woman British? No. So I just want to bring it up now while we're on the case. Grace Kelly is one. Liz Taylor was another one that is really in my head of someone that needs to be brought into this conversation. You know? That I can't. I'm going to be honest. I don't think off the top of my head I've seen a Grace Kelly movie, but the name is lost.
Yes, Rear Window.
Of course. Sorry. You see, I recognize. Yeah, I have seen Rear Window. Don't worry, I did enjoy that one when I watched it.
But this is interesting. Billy Mount doesn't know who Grace Kelly is. Who the hell is Grace Kelly? Very interesting.
Without being too intrusive, Billy, can I get your age? I would like to, because as an 80s kid. If you don't want to give your full age, just give the decade you were born in. As an 80s born kid, that was definitely a name that will last. It was just always in the conversation. There was just always homage to that name. And again, Rear Window, I've only seen this year. And it sounds bad. It's really bad that I didn't recognize that I had seen her in a film. It kind of slipped my brain. But short of that, I'm still familiar with the name Grace Kelly. It was huge. Really shocked you not heard the name. Very shocked.
Yeah, but yeah, Grace Kelly, such a star. She married the fucking Prince of Monaco. Like, one of the wealthiest men in the world. I'll take her. It's like, of course you will, mate. Have you seen her? Like, fucking star fallen from the heavens, that one. Yeah, no, listen. Here's how much of a star Grace Kelly is in my eyes, not only for her exploits with the good old Prince of Monaco, for the very fact that off the top of my head, I think I've only seen her in one movie, which is Rear Window, and it still made me go, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, she was good. She was really good. I just must admit, I didn't really pay attention to names in the film. I was just like, I need to see this film. It was one of those, actually. Still kind of dumb not knowing that. But then here we go. It's weird that Bigger Movie Pod is saying, is it bad that I know the name Grace Kelly because of a Mika song?
Yeah.
Mika song. Fun fact, Mika went to our school. Did you know that by any chance?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I somehow read it somewhere. Betty Davis. Yeah, that's another one. Again, knew that one. Betty Davis Smile. Can't remember what song that was. And Billy was born in 95. Yeah, I think you may be just off the track. And this is where I say that when we talked about stars, I feel that we needed to do it possibly by generation, because there are some stars that, it's the way it balances out. Oh dear.
You gotta let it go, Pedro. You gotta let it go.
I was looking at it as well.
Still on Jason Momoa, not a star. Made $1 billion. Star.
Isn't he like does he not do like Savage? No, that's that. But he's also doing a
and then he's like, Aquaman's a superhero film. He talks to fish. That's literally how society views him.
Aquaman
like,
is the
fucking how it should have ended. Did a whole thing about how society views Aquaman, and then they showed Jason Momoa playing Aquaman, and they were like, "Oh, this we can get on board with." He literally doesn't even need to speak. Like when you're saying he can't carry a movie, he doesn't need to. Look at him.
In WWE, don't want to take it to wrestling, the Hurricane had a segment with a kid, and I always remember this. Yeah, the Hurricane is talking to a kid. The Hurricane is a superhero themed wrestler for anyone unfamiliar with it, and he's talking to a kid, and they're talking about superheroes, and his key line in it was, "But that Aquaman sucks." Remember that kid? Aquaman sucks. Like that is like a tagline I remember. Aquaman is the butt of all jokes. You watch The Big Bang Theory, Nerd Central over there. They will tell you no time for Aquaman. There is no love for
What's
Aquaman.
up with that?
Exactly. I love the Hurricane. Like Shane Helm's done some awesome stuff. But here we go. Like there is no arguing. This guy took the weakest of characters in the whole pantheon. Like DC, Marvel, it doesn't matter. Everyone points fingers and laughs at Aquaman. You know, there were two people from Atlantis. One's Namor, the other one's Aquaman. Namor, who is the one that people love, was brought in as a vehicle through Black Panther. Aquaman got his own movie, and people went to see it.
And I got to address this too. Pedro saying like Avatar made $1 trillion and Sam Worthington's certainly not a star. You're absolutely correct in that. You know who made Avatar?
James Cameron.
What does James Cameron have a reputation of doing? Making movies that make $1 billion. Why? Again, because they're fucking events.
Worthington. It's how can I say
now. Here's a question. Imagine Jason. Wait, AJ, I got the ultimate argument ender. Imagine Jason Momoa in a James Cameron movie.
I mean, I don't see it. I mean, he has worked with
$4 billion.
I can see it now. Avatar 3, Jason Momoa.
I'd watch that shit.
Do you know what's going to be funny? When you want the son who survived in Avatar 2, when you want him to have grown up, let him be played by Jason Momoa.
Yeah.
I'm part of the fish people, Dad. I may have done it. I may have called it Momoa as the elder Avatar.
True Lies 2 with Momoa. Give me that for days. Why the fuck not? Do it. Fucking do it. Shit, man. Fast and Furious 10 knows what stars are. They cast The Rock, right? Well, guess who and John Cena, right? And guess who the villain is in Fast 10? Da, 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 da. Jason Momoa. You may not like the guy, and I agree with you. He's not a good actor. You can't deny he's a star.
But I was going to say there were two people that I felt were missing in the Fast franchise. I said one last week, and Momoa, when I heard his name today, was the second one. Momoa and Wahlberg are Fast franchise people. They just are.
Wahlberg is Fast franchise. You're right.
He is. I'm so waiting for it.
Jason Momoa is Harry Potter. Jason Momoa playing Khal Drogo would be more believable as Harry Potter than that twatter fucking Daniel Radcliffe. Oh wow. When is Cena having a hair versus hair time?
That's a low blow.
Cena's my guy, but I have to agree with that. Anyway.
John Cena versus Jason Momoa in a hair versus hair match.
John Cena's hair.
Oh man.
Wait, John Cena's bald. You can see it coming too.
I mean, in a way, John Cena's hair. You can't see me.
You can't see hair. That was my number 4. Your number 4.
Right, my number 4. Yep, we share a birthday. he was called in earlier as your number 10. One of the stars that I feel has lasted the test of time since he's dropped on the screens, Mr. Tom Cruise.
Yep.
You just can't deny it, man. The guy has got that star power.
Bro.
It's weird because I remember I had fallen off the Mission Impossible train. I was like, I'm done with these. During the global one, which I'm not sure if you're allowed to say without being demonetized anymore.
You can say it now, it's fine.
Okay, yeah. COVID times, I banged out the rest of them. And I was like, I remember when I was like, Tom, you're just getting too old for this. Allow it. Then I watched them and I'm like, when's the new one out? How do you flip the script that way? But that's what he does. He just has those movies. People stop and take time. It's there. Again, Nico's movie of the year. The one that is chronically number one. I don't think it was a surprise that this was the picture that Nick pulled out when he done it.
Nope.
I knew exactly what he was doing. Top Gun came out last year. Like, do you remember? Like, we talked about the distance between coming to America and coming to America. Heap of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was a gap in that. Top Gun to Top Gun 2 was a minute. Like, that was a gap.
I said something, I think it was on the end of year pod, which I'm going to repeat now, because we were talking about sound bites that accompany The Rock. He's the franchise saver. He's the biggest star in Hollywood, both which I think you can factually disprove. There's a strong argument, which would be much harder to disprove, of the following statement. Top Gun Maverick saved cinema.
Well, I mean, if the opportunity was there, I'd bring Dan on screen right now. He works in that industry. I think he said it enough times on the last pod he was on. Sorry, I couldn't help it. But, it was the film. It was the film that kept his place going. Like, it really is. It saved it. Like, that, followed by Avatar 2, really put cinema in a comfortable, I'm not going to say cozy, but comfortable position. It gave him a breath of fresh air. No one else could take that title. It wasn't Black Adam that saved cinema. It sure as fuck wasn't.
Wasn't Tenet.
After no, but Tenet
wasn't Jurassic World.
Jurassic World should have been. It should have been. Like, that's a post-COVID film that had people talking. By the time the film came out, people weren't talking as much. You know,
Maverick hit it out the park.
Yeah,
Maverick. Oh, am I going to do it? No. I was nearly about to say it's my new 10 out of 10. It's not.
I don't. Something told me it's still Top Gun. There's something that told me you can't go that deep. I know the guys really went in for it.
Oh no, I don't give a fuck about what the title of the movie is. Watch the movie.
No. What I'm saying is, it's still a Top Gun movie. I know the cheese and stuff that comes with a Top Gun. Like, you know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I've not seen it yet. Again, I'm waiting for.
It's pretty fucking spectacular, mate.
I really need to send that email and find out if it's possible to get hold of film.
Pedro Sanctus, you and me are going to disagree on many things tonight, brother. He's like, saved is too big of a term for a media that is still changing. Of course it is. I'm being facetious. Same as...
No. We have to be real, though. We have to be real. In a world...
It got bums in seats.
But let's bring it to what we're talking now. In a real term. You still hold a card. I don't, just because there's not one in my area. Cineworld is on the ropes right now.
Well, a lot of bankruptcy, hasn't it?
Yeah, like a lot of places are feeling it since lockdown because everything became a streaming world and people found means.
Stupid.
Certain films, Disney are prime for it out of most places. I mean, look, we just talked about how Tetris should have got a cinema release.
Yep.
But they thought, let's just go for streams because it's safer. Like, there are ways of it not being great. Yet that film went there and put people back in seats. So as much as we want to say, like, saved is a loose term, people have been worried about bigger, oh, for God's sake, not bigger. Oh, God. Who did we do a pod with once? I can't remember the name of the film. Big Picture Film Club.
There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, I'm a bit late. Yeah, but we had a conversation during lockdown where I categorically had my hand up and was like, I'm not too sure what comes to cinema next because of what streams are. Me and Nick had a head-to-head of, no, cinema will still go. By the time lockdown was nearing, or at midpoint, Nick was kind of like, I see what you're saying, bro. Like, people were nervous for cinema. Not so much now. Again, Cineworld is still where it's at, but Top Gun helped it. It helped it. So, yes, it's being facetious, but it's a fact that you can't disagree with. Irrelevant of what you feel about the film.
I don't know anyone who watched that movie and didn't like it.
No, but what I'm saying
Like, that's
is,
one of those movies I feel that movie I think is so universally loved that my daughter's generation will probably be the trendy wankers who will say it's not that good. Shut up.
But look
Like
at
the generation that Zany's generation and slightly above are saying Avatar's not that good. Shut up.
Yeah, but look at who I
You're
was.
missing
Look
the
at who I
point.
was for Avatar. Look at who I was before the 4DX experience.
You were misled.
But whatever. But look at who I was. Irrelevant of what I felt of the film, I'm still aware it was the biggest selling film of all time. So much so that I was happy that Endgame crushed it. But then guess what they do? They just re-released it for the fuck of it, just for it to outdo Endgame. Then what did they do? Re-released it again and outdone their own numbers. Respect what it is. Respect what it is. But yeah, we digress.
But here, do you know, we're talking about money and saving cinema and stuff. Do you know what Top Gun also did that was so fucking clever? And this is why I commend Tom Cruise in his producing ability. So many of these dumb fuckheads who thought, and Disney are no better than this, who think, we'll put the movie in the cinema and then drop it onto streaming service either next day or 2 weeks after. The dumbest shit I've ever seen, right? Top Gun Maverick stayed in cinemas for long. Do you know what happened after that? It didn't drop to streaming. It went DVD, Blu-ray, 4K Ultra HD for about a month before it hit streaming.
Yeah.
When it hit streaming, do you know what it did? It didn't go on to normal viewership. It was, you have to pay to watch this. Yeah. Even on Prime, you had to pay the $17.99 to watch Maverick. Then it went to streaming for free. And you know what it did after that? After it had gone to streaming, and even people who waited until the very end, I'm not going to give this movie money. I'm not going to see it in the cinema. I'm not going to fucking pay for the DVD. I'm not going to pay for it on streaming. I'm going to wait for it to come free on streaming because I think my TV is amazing because it's fucking 70 inches around like my cock because I'm a man and I've got the best home cinema setup in the world. Shut up. No home cinema setup can compare to a cinema experience. I don't want to hear it. But even these stubborn motherfuckers who are waiting around until being like, I'm going to wait until it's free. Yeah, do you know what Top Gun Maverick did then? Re-released in cinema and made another fucking 100 million. They played the industry pitch perfectly. And you know what's happened since Top Gun Maverick, which is why I'm insistent on its being a cinema savior. Look at all the movie trailers now. Do you know what they're saying at the end of all of them? Which they weren't doing 2 years ago. Do you know what they're doing at the end of every movie trailer? It's a little detail that if you weren't paying attention to this sort of thing, you wouldn't even give a second thought to. Only available in cinemas. Do you know why? Because pre-Top Gun Maverick, available in cinemas and streaming.
Yeah.
Maverick got the fucking ship steady again.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I would say it saved cinema because it made the studios realize, hey, stop being dum-dums. Streaming is not the future. So and they all fucking realize, oh, wait, to make money, we need to actually be in cinemas.
See, the funny thing for what you're saying here, Francis, is instead of cinema, use the word theatre. We don't use that. For us, theatre is Broadway. Cinema is cinema. Like it's the movie theatre for you guys. But over here in the UK, so maybe that could be a bit of a conflict in our terminology. But
when we say cinema, we mean the actual
the building.
Yeah.
That's what it is for us. Yeah. But yes,
I mean, but this is think about what you said a moment ago, AJ. The fact that even you and me, like avid moviegoers, you were kind of on the I think it's going down the streaming route. And even me, I started to buckle. I was like, oh, shit, maybe. Right? That's how much these stupid cunt streaming services had us fooled into. No, I'm going to stand by that. I don't give a fuck. These dumb twat streaming services who, and I use Netflix as, again, and I got to be careful what I say because I could be working for them in a few months. By their own,
exhibit.
By their own admission, they are not a film company. They are a big tech company. They write their series and movies based off of viewing trends and an in-house algorithm that they created, which is constantly changing according to viewing trends. I.e., it may as well be Chat GPT writing Netflix scripts. Doubt me? How many Netflix movies can you name that are actually amazing? I bet it's on less than 2 hands. How many have they made? Tons. Which is why I go back to the argument that Big Toe made earlier, going, oh, it'll be on streaming. Really? How many people fucking watched Red Notice? That shit had star power for days. The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, Netflix exclusive. Millions, hundreds of millions. No one fucking cared. You know why? Because despite the star power, they knew it was a Netflix movie.
Do you know what? Even WWE were doing a bit. Do you remember Austin Theory and McMahon? They had the whole golden egg.
Just acknowledge that point. Like, look, they did it with Chris Evans and Gosling recently. Oh, God, 2 of the biggest stars in the world. Hey, look at that. Who saw that shit? Not many. The people who did see it. What did they have to say?
Disappointed as fuck.
There you go. You know
remember
why?
Being hyped as fuck for that film. You saw it and said it sucked.
Of course. The big tech company knows how to get you hyped.
Followed by my brother saying that was the worst film I've seen, and I have not touched it. I have not touched The Grey Man.
So my point has been proven. You can have all the star power you want. If you are going on a streaming service, do you know what message you're actually sending to the audience? However consciously or subconsciously, you are sending the message of not worthy to be on big screen. And here's the thing. This is why I fundamentally disagree with Big Tom when he's like, I'll wait for it to get onto streaming. Just because something is available doesn't mean you watch it. In fact, it's that creation of buzz and that, you know, if you build it, they will come type thing. It's that ability to create a buzz around something, a kind of almost subversive exclusivity about that. Oh, I need to pay to see this. That means it must have some sort of value attributed to it versus, oh, it's available for free. What has more value? Obviously, it's the thing that they think you should be paying for.
For sure. I will never deny it. I mean, listen, I look, Bigger Movie Pod have just put it out there. I think streaming services have a place in our pantheon of culture, maybe not for movies, but things like Stranger Things and Ted Lasso.
Love them both.
Like, listen, I'll keep waving the flag for You as a TV series that everybody needs to watch. I think it's fucking awesome. Season 4, not so much. I still enjoyed season 4, but not as much.
HBO are responsible for some of the best TV. I wish we had HBO Max over here. I would sign up to them and give them all my money. They are responsible for things like The Wire. They're responsible for things like Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. HBO make stellar TV, right? It absolutely has got a place. But when it comes to movies being made algorithmically, I mean, you're one step below vanillification a la Disney there, man. Ugh. If we end up going down that route, which thankfully I believe Maverick, which saves cinema, case in point, has proved that it's not worthy, you are going to end up with such cookie cutter, unoriginal bullshit because it's all going to be made from an algorithm. And with the rise of AI, why would you need to hire writers? There are literally strikes about to happen in Hollywood right now of the Writers Guild of America saying, yo, we need to have very clear terms and conditions of how AI is used here, so we don't end up out of a job.
Oh, yeah, for sure. To answer this question, so would Coke, this is from Francis Lalonde for pod listeners, at Silver Screen Dude, so would Cocaine Bear be an example of a film probably should have stuck with streaming instead of actual cinema? Nope. I actually like the idea of something that's not, but whether you're good or bad, I like the idea of something that's not based on an IP. That's why I rushed to Air. Air is my first cinema movie of the year. Don't get me wrong. I wanted to. I'm really behind in terms of top 10 films of the year. There was a lot of films I wanted to see, haven't had a chance to see, but I've also been very cautious because we have films like everything's an IP at the moment. You know, Creed 3 is out. There's Super Mario's out.
Look at the list that Big Tone's list earlier. Literally, look at the list of movies he shared: John Wick Chapter 4. Creed 3, Shazam 2, Ant-Man 3. It's like IP. What have I been saying on this podcast since fucking episode 1 of season 1? There has never been a time in cinema history where more original content has been made. Ever. People aren't seeing it. And that's why I'm so passionate about the fact that please fucking support these movies, because it's not like they're not there.
This is it. There will be hit and miss, but give it a shot. And honestly, that's why I felt about Air. Francis, to answer Instagram, they'll have a separate Instagram account. So there is at the one AJ, which is just barely touched. Another one that is barely. I will send it. I think it was Tony's Entertainment News, because if you want to know films that I was rated, that was a time I was doing that for fun. So you could check some bits out. I'll post them. I'll find you and we'll connect on that, because I haven't really touched Insta in a while, and I don't want to promote just the wrestling stuff, because yeah, I would appreciate it's not for wrestling fans. But at Tony's Entertainment News, I think I was ranking films back then. But yeah, more than anything, that's the thing. Even going back to it, Top Gun was also an IP. Yes, it was. It was. But that's what we're talking about. Stuff like The Fabelmans, give or take, good or bad, it's a film that's different. It's something fresh. And this is what we're asking for from cinema as a
whale. Why did Babylon bomb? Why the fuck did Babylon bomb? That's a joke.
Yeah. But guys, just being conscious that you might get a special out of it, but like 1 hour and 50.
Oh shit! Look who's back. Hey! Saint Jackie G.
Jackie.
Love to you, Jackie. Great to see you, girl.
Welcome back. So happy to see your name again. Awesome. Welcome back, Jackie.
Hope all is well. Jackie, you've just made my evening. Thank you. Oh, Pedro, mate, why are you trying to trigger me tonight? Babylon bomb because it just wasn't. Go argue with Chris Trangove.
Is Chris a Babylon fan?
Yes.
Good. Oh, long gone are the days when Nico and Chris just couldn't see eye to eye. Those were fun days. I know Gavin knows what I'm talking about.
What was funny is that Chris didn't realize we had beef until I kind of called him out.
I remember coming to yours on a weekly basis being like, so what can I say? I didn't even care what the films were now. It was just like, each time we had a Rushmore, Chris had a reply to, what the fuck is that doing?
So that was your 4, yes?
Yes, Tom Cruise was my number 4.
Cool. My 3, I have a feeling we're about to say punt. I mean, you're going to say punt, come on. It's Arnold.
Yeah, it's a punt. Right.
Your 3.
So my number 3. The last of the female stars for me that made it. I just think the iconicity, and that's why I picked the image that I did. Miss Marilyn Monroe. Okay, cool. Over to you.
Punt. Right, my number 2. My double deuce. Strangely, despite the fact that we've been hearkening on for the last hour 50 that these stars don't need to be great actors or even good actors, but in brackets can be, this one definitely falls into the can be. Because my number 2 is Mr. Marlon Brando.
He was another one I toyed with.
Bro, look at him.
So hardly.
Fucking look at him. Jesus Christ. Like, you want to talk about On the Waterfront. You want to talk about Last Tango in Paris. A Streetcar Named Desire. The Godfather. Like, star, icon, thespian, auteur, activist, actor. Like, Jesus.
Apocalypse Now.
Huh? Apocalypse. Thank you. Apocalypse Now.
Apocalypse Now is such a weird one for me because
he's in it for 10 minutes and steals the movie.
This is the funny thing, because I've seen, like, it took me a while to get to Apocalypse Now, and I keep hearing Brando's in it, and I was like, okay, when's he coming? And then he comes, and he owns what he owns. Like, it's not long, but owns it. You know, he does it. And the funny thing is that to me, Brando. Bogart was another name that nearly made the list. I don't think Bogart's your number 1. That's why I'm very comfortable to say it.
He was my worst.
Oh, he was. Did you not have you got another?
I haven't picked a worst just because I don't want to throw shade at people who are either no longer with us or who are like considered by so many to be greats. And I get Humphrey Bogart. He's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah, it was Casablanca. I can't say I've seen more, so I can't really get into it. And I think the film's overrated. But Marlon Brando, to me, short of Apocalypse Now, is The Godfather and Jor-El. So I've not seen enough to rate the guy. You know, I appreciate what he's done. And Streetcar Named Desire, I've seen half of, and again, a good film, but I need to see the end before I can make true judgment. But I'm aware of how impactful the name is, and that's I can't.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. He blurred, and I think he's the only actor I can really think of, at least to the degree that he did this, where he just blurred the lines between what being a star and an actor is. As Bigger Movie Pod said earlier, it's like wrestler, superstar. He just blended the two together, and it was like, they are all one, and I am it. It's like, yes, you are. You really are, aren't you? You can't take your eyes off him.
No. I'm just looking at my number one because it's a similar thing, but I'm wondering how much star power. He has star power, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to stick with it by all means. I'm not changing my 2 for my number one. But yeah, no, Brando has that.
He really does. I've got to share this comment for Bigger Movie Pod, although we'll get in trouble for it. According to Team America, Alec Baldwin is the greatest actor of all time. That joke probably doesn't hold up now. Fucking hell.
Do you even roll for laughing? we could just go shh, like, ooh, low blow, and we have to leave it at that. I'm inside, my emotions are not to be disclosed on screen. But yeah, that didn't age well.
The thing is, Pedro, you're saying like watch the Treasure of Sierra Madre. I've seen Sierra Madre, I've seen The Maltese Falcon, I've seen Casablanca, and those are meant to be his 3 bangers. And I'm watching it going, he's so fucking unlikable to me that I just want to slap him.
He didn't give me much.
What is it Richard Pryor said? Oh, it was in that Eddie Murphy stand-up. Do you get... Yeah, well, yeah. It's exactly that. It's like, do your jokes make people laugh? Yes. Do you get paid to tell these jokes? Yes. Well, then tell Bill, I said, have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up. That's literally when I say to Humphrey Bogart, like, have a Coke and a smile and shut the fuck up, bro.
I respect the name. From what I've seen, He hasn't hit me. Bro, listen, I might watch that film and be like, I'm all over it, Pedro. I see what you're saying. Respect his name. That is me in The Godfather. By the time I saw part 2, I'm on the Godfather train. However, from what I've seen, I respect the name, not the film, as yet.
Yeah.
Right. In at number 2 for me. Is there anything else you wanted to say, before we go there?
Nah, I'm good. Carry on.
Yeah. In at number 2 was The Punt from earlier.
Come on.
It's literally
the chopper, you know.
Like,
come on.
It's one of those lines that just needs to be known. People say, I'm going to see the latest Arnie movie. People across the globe say, I'll be back. Hasta la vista, baby. Is it like the guy is pop culture? 90s movies. Like, I nearly, a name I toyed with a lot. And I know it's not your number one as much as you have love for the guy. I know he cannot be a number one. Plus, you said Punt, so I know where we're going. Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy was huge. I nearly put Jim Carrey in because there was the year of Kerry. Like
1994.
Yeah, all those films came out. But if you are going to talk that guy, we talk about the trifecta, but there is one prong that's just slightly higher on that trident than the other 2. In fact, it's a bit of a slope. When it comes to action movies, you talk Sly, you talk Willis, but it's always Arnie. There is no one who's ever out.
Irrespective of what Twitter may say, it's not Keanu, it's Arnie.
Yeah, it's Arnie. It is Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's factual.
And when people are like, The Rock's the new Arnold, I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Listen, I get where you're going. You could take Welcome to the Jungle, aka The Rundown in the States, and be like, there was that passing of the torch. But his films don't bang the same way Arnold's did. They never have, they never will. They won't. They just won't.
No franchises, no bangers.
Fact. But I'm saying it's as good.
Now let's look at Arnold. Franchise.
It's as good as you can get nowadays.
Predators,
and that's why Rock
is a franchise. What else do we have from Arnold? Terminator is a franchise. Quite big. How about some bangers? True Lies. It's quite a good movie. Quite good, you know, just greatest action film of all time. Come at me. What else do we have? Total Recall. Pretty fucking awesome
Right,
for all of its goofiness. I love The Running Man. Thank you, AJ.
It goes on. It goes on.
The Rock, the way The Rock can compare to Arnie is that he has one-liners that he used in wrestling. He didn't bring that shit to the screen.
No, it's true. It's
Why? They haven't somehow worked in a shtick for The Rock to go, it's somehow in his movies, do you smell it? Like,
or even anything like the building's about to explode. It doesn't matter if the building's
and get your candy ass out that building right now. You know, just
there are lines that could work it. Like candy ass could be it. It could
literally. How have they not integrate? Like, if you can make "I'll be back" work, you can make candy ass work.
Let's be honest. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be said in rock tone, but you could find a way to make it say it doesn't matter in every film. It's a fact. It's actually a fact. But it doesn't matter. Just make him pause and say it so you know it's that. He doesn't have to go Rocky Maivia in it. But just give me it doesn't matter. It's the easiest thing to do.
And that's the joy.
Yeah.
They've completely missed the ship on The Rock being the new Arnold. Like, that was the first few movies he was in, and I was like, oh, they're not even giving him lines. Like, they're not giving him that thing. Like, nah.
Yeah. He doesn't even raise the eyebrow in every film. Like, come on. If anything else, even if it's not a word, just raise the eyebrow. It was called the people's eyebrow, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. And Jackie's right. Even in Kindergarten Cop, it's so special to me. Arnie is hilarious. I don't know what I've been told. Come on. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
It's fucking, twins. Junior, I want my baby. You know, it's fantastic.
Another line that I don't know if it's special to everybody else, but it's one of these bonds. I always say it. Me and my brother are so different, but we have moments that are Ant and Nath moments. And one of those is Jingle All the Way, when Sinbad has two balls and he's like, he got two. He's
but
just
Gavin Mann's brought up a Jingle All the Way moment here. Put the cookie down now.
Even as bad as it is, you're not sending me to the cooler. Like, every film has or something.
You know what? He's the best fucking thing about that terrible movie. He really is.
The Batman credit card. The Batman credit card. I'm taking
bat nipples, bruv. Come on. Come on.
Yeah.
The Iceman cometh.
You can't talk 90s and not talk Arnie. It's just what it is.
You can't. He is. Do you know he's my height? I thought you'd be. Oh, I got a fun Arnie story for you from Los Angeles. You're going to fucking be heartbroken for me, though. So, you know
I
how
thought he was shorter than you, though.
No, he's 6'2".
You know when we went to that Batman versus Superman exhibition or whatever, Batman exhibition or Superman. DC
Those
exhibition.
heights were all off, bro.
Because that Mr. Freeze costume.
That height had Jack Nicholson is nearly the same size as Danny DeVito, and it's like, no.
Okay. Anyway, we digress.
They were all off with those. But no, he's 6'2". He's exactly my height. Funny, tragic story of my recent trip to LA regarding Arnie. So Dan and I went to Muscle Beach. I needed to kick the bag because Muay Thai fighter. Come on, I had to kick the bag at Muscle Beach. We go into the shop because I needed to buy one of those tank tops because, you know, Venice Beach, Muscle Beach. I've got the fucking Arnie tank top. Like, yeah, of course I had to do it. You know, the guys I was buying my T-shirt from in there, I was like, because I was in proper tourist mode, like, hey man, look, I just kicked the bag at Muscle Beach, and I was probably like, these motherfuckers are like, yeah, you and every other hombre that comes through here, brother. But they were like, oh, you're into all that, huh? I'm like, yeah, man, fucking Arnold's like holy ground, you know? The guy who was pressing the T-shirt for me pulled out his camera and he said, he was in here 15 minutes ago. I'm like,
of course he was.
Don't. I was like, no. Missed him by 15 minutes. I was like, stop.
Don't get me wrong. In our school, where our school is located, it's not uncommon that Hugh Grant would walk past, you know. And I know that's like the epitome of fucking
Orlando
English.
Bloom as well. He used to hang around there.
I've never seen Bloom. I saw Hugh Grant walk past once, and I
Saw
think
Bloom
I
there.
saw Rowan Atkinson once. But I remember, like, I don't. Obviously, it doesn't happen everywhere. There are certain states where shit just doesn't happen. I still believe it's criminal that I can't remember the actor's name, but the taller wet bandit from Home Alone. I'm still pretty sure I saw him at one of the Disneylands or Universal Studios with his kid. I'm not sure if it is him, but he looks so much like him, this guy. And I remember my dad seeing.
Because all white people look the same, huh? Racist motherfucker.
And I remember my dad seeing Wyclef Jean when he went to New York. But short of that, like the fact that you could just be in LA and be like, "Oh, Arnie just passed." Like, what do you mean Arnie just passed? Like, do you realize what you've just said as a sentence? It's just absolutely insane. It's
City of Stars, bro. It really is.
Yeah.
Your number two, Arnie was your number two. Do you have a worst? As I said, Humphrey Bogart, but I'm not going to go deep into it. Who's your worst?
Look, it's the obvious go-to. The same way that I say, people say the Arnie movie, they've said the Rock movie. This picture says it all. This picture says it all.
Dickhead.
Like, they are literally the go-to films. It's Will Ferrell. Like, he is. I'm not going to deny it. The guy has star power. People rush to films because of it. He is who he is. And, you know, as I even put the poster up, I was like, maybe I need to give it. Well, I have to say this now, because unlike you, I can give Daddy's Home time. But Will Ferrell just set pace. You know, they say a first impression is a lasting impression. 2 minutes of Elf, literally 2 minutes of Elf. And I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this guy. It's not going to work. I was like, this is the hype. He's the hype. It's kind of like Idris Elba. When I realized who Idris Elba was, Idris Elba can never be a star to me.
No.
Again, I felt like a dickhead, but I knew what I was doing. Today, when we were talking about Netflix movies, and I was like, anyone who quotes Beast, and Big Tone was like, I love it. I couldn't help but send a gif of Heimdall, the Bifrost, because you always the bit part actor, and it's the first impression that's lasted. Idris Elba's name, and I love the guy. I think he's awesome. I think he's got that chic. I think Idris has got that chic, but he won't be that star to me because the hype doesn't match the potential of what I've ever seen you do on screen. And it's the same.
To be fair, though, that kind of makes him a star based on the logic that we've been saying for the last 2 hours.
Who? Idris Elba?
Yeah.
He's a star. He's just a shit actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he is a star. But you just said he's not a star to you, but he is a star.
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, he's not a great actor. Again, I did cross my lines from what it was. He's not, again, TV star. He's the best TV star you could ask for. He's just not a movie man.
I agree, brother. I agree.
Yeah.
Jackie G agrees. Will Ferrell, great choice. Rob, a bigger movie pod. Will is not a star for me. His recent exploits around football clubs make me cringe. Oh, that's the point you cringed. I just see his fucking name in the title and it sends a shiver up my fucking spine.
I do. As I said, I feel like I need to give him more of a chance because, bro, it's the thing. It's that lasting impression. As I said, I can do Daddy's Home. It is more for Wahlberg than him, but I've actually enjoyed 1 and 2. I'm not going to say differently.
AJ, do me a favor. Just repeat that comment you made about Idris about what type of actor
he is. I know what I said. I just saw the comment.
No, just repeat it.
TV star, not movie.
TV star, not movie. Read this comment for me.
Idris Elba's not a shit actor, hence The Wire.
Which is where?
TV. It's
I love it when people prove us right?
One of the best TV stars ever. Go on. I dare
on the best TV show ever.
Yeah. I again, Luther. Not even watched it. I've heard the love for it. But come on, people. Pacific Rim? Really? American Gangster. American Gangster.
But bro, look what happened when they made Idris a leading man, Mr. Big Star. Look what happened when they made him a leading man. Dark Tower with Oscar winner Matthew McConaughey. How did that do?
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's also got one with Tilda Swinton. People don't even know about it. It's that good.
The Genie movie.
Like, it continues. He's the guy in the MCU. He's the guy in the MCU.
He's Bifrost, bitch, man.
He's the fucking Bifrost, right? You are Hemsworth's bitch. Even further, you are Anthony Hopkins' bitch in that film, and Anthony Hopkins is fucking.
People proving it wrong again. Oh, sorry. Sorry, my bad. You haven't seen Luther, right?
No, yeah, that I will
Okay,
get
so
onto.
I thought it was another person saying, but look at Luther. It's like TV.
Also, Rob, this was very nearly on my list. Robin Williams was
I
very,
forgot.
very close. No, he was very nearly on it. It was just, I couldn't find the space. By the time I filled it out, and this is why I said, if we had done a certain generation, I think pre-70s and post-70s, he would definitely be on the list. But there are
Will
some
Smith did
icons.
feature mixed memorabilia. He was AJ's number
6, I believe.
Yeah, he was there.
5. He's my number 5. Yeah. Pictures there to prove it.
There you go.
He's there. Yeah.
To Nico's point, holding his own with Kate Winslet in The Mountain Between Us. That did
Yeah.
great, didn't it?
How did that film do? Didn't he also do another film with Beyonce where he was meant to be a cheating bastard? That film also tanked. Like, hit me with the film. Come on, guys. Beast of No Nation, the Netflix movie. So good. It never made it to
Screaming
cinema.
movie. Do you know what?
Yeah.
I'll say this. He was in a movie this year. Was it this year or last year? I can't even remember. Had a blast with it. Beast, that lion movie. Because I'm a sucker for a lion movie. He was not the good part in it.
Yeah, the CG lion was. Just like
literally, the CG lion outacted Idris.
Just like the cocaine bear was the star. Like, sorry, Ray, I know it was your last bow, but that was the star.
Fact.
Yeah. Like, let's be real. I challenge someone. I've just listed a shitload of films. Give me that one film, short of Beast of No Nation, people, because everybody.
Here's one.
I haven't even seen Sonic 2, but here we go. Idris Elba. Even if
you're a Sonic guy.
Yeah, but even if it is a banger, it's because he was behind the voice of Sonic's bitch. Like, let's be honest, it's Sonic, Tails, then Knuckles. Irrelevant of whatever way you want to look at life, Knuckles will always end up third. It's not like one of those moments that Knuckles came in and he Green Rangered the rest of the Power Rangers. R.I.P. to the Green Ranger. No. Yeah, Knuckles will still be third. Knuckles could be all kinds of cool. He's not Sonic or Tails. Fact. And it's the same here. Right?
Ultimate backup dancer.
Oh, he's an American gangster. No one gives a fuck. It's
there you go.
Movie.
Kevin Mann, American gangster.
He's nothing in it. He's fuck all in the film. The dead Cambodian bodies had more character than Idris Elba in that film. All right, I took it a bit far there, but you get my point.
Francis Lone. So any more rumors on the James Bond front? Yeah, Bond's white.
Listen, exactly. Nico has said it time and time again, and I've been on board. He would make the perfect Bond villain, and I think it would actually be awesome because for all the hype that everyone has put in the engine of Idris Elba being Bond, to cast him as a Bond villain would just stir people all kinds of batshit crazy. And then people are going to be, oh, they made him the villain because he's black. No, it's because
I want that to happen now more than anything for the fucking penny pinching whistleblowers. Oh, you cast a black guy as a villain, that's racist. What?
Okay. What was more racist? The one that I had to shut my brother down for. We made him a black British villain and we called him Brixton. Oh, wow. Check the history of Brixton for anyone who's not from London.
Right.
One of the most populated black areas. We now take the black Brit and call him Brixton. Like, why Jason Statham wasn't called Millwall, I'm still not sure.
Oh, that's good. That's very good.
What I'm saying, though? Like, fuck off with that shit. Yeah? Did someone once say this? Idris Elba as the new Jaws would be interesting. You know? Give me something, like, different.
Idris Elba as the new Jaws. I'd see that for days. I don't mean Jaws the shark. I mean Jaws as in reprising Richard Keel's role. That I'd be all in for. That would be awesome.
Like, give me him as a psycho. I'm down for it.
Pedro's got jokes, though. Would Elba as a Bond villain kill Bond? Maybe they'll kill Bond in the end. Maybe they'll know. And that was such a good time, right? So good. So good. Jackie G, just to answer your question, I just got in the middle of the show. What are they considering as stars? Is it about people who were big before but aren't anymore? No. People who are stars are people who have got a certain je ne sais quoi, a star power, an aura, a magnetism, but who don't necessarily have to be good actors, but can be.
So I'm going to piss off Pedro just because I can. Jason Momoa. Jason Momoa is the perfect example of a star.
As Jaws.
Don't tell me.
He'd be fucking awesome as that, you know.
He would be awesome as both. Why? Because Aquaman is playing a villain named after a shark.
Gavin Man does bring up Snatch though. Momoa was called Turkish. Statham. He was called Turkish.
I thought you said Momoa was called Turkish. I was like, Momoa's not Snatch.
I'd pay to see that.
But yeah, this is what I'm talking about. That's the kind of like, yeah. Sorry,
he's not a star. He's not a great actor. He's a great TV actor.
Yeah,
as you mentioned with,
I would say he's the biggest. I think he could even be the biggest TV star. Or
I'd listen to that.
Or even
that he did The Wire and Luther.
It may be offensive to many, but he's the biggest star who can't make it in film because people are like, oh, but Bruce Willis was big and he made it in there. My number one was no, he wasn't. Robin Williams was a TV star who became awesome. Will Smith was a TV star who became awesome in films. Idris is not in the same conversation
Steve
as those
Carell.
Guys. Yeah. Let's take thank you. Let's take that conversation, people. And now tell me Idris Elba is a fucking awesome movie star. Right? Steve Carell, Will Smith, Robin Williams, Bruce Willis, Idris Elba.
Kind of one of these things does not belong.
You're the thumb, dude. You're the thumb of the conversation.
Fuck the thumb. Bro, he's the fucking he's the ring finger. Like that's like if he's the ring finger for a single man. That's what Idris Elba is. He's literally the finger you don't need. Because look, even if you want to Matt Hardy that shit, you don't need it. You don't need it. You definitely need your middle finger so that you can flip motherfuckers off. You need your pinky finger to be posh. You definitely need your thumb, so don't be giving Idris the thumb. Absolutely not. And you definitely need your index, to work with the opposable thumb. This one, bro, most people can't even straighten it properly. He's definitely the ring finger of a single man.
Not on the ring hand.
There you go. He's the ring finger on not the ring hand. That's Idris Elba. Oh my God, that is fucking genius. Oh, I need to extract that as a video, that's so good.
Oh God. And again, I don't hate Idris Elba. He's just not the film star that he's made out to be.
No, he's not. He's just not. It's hype. Why? Because he's a good-looking motherfucker.
He is. King of Suave. He owns that shit. But he just doesn't own it in film.
Correct.
Jason Momoa. Here's the best bit. I want Idris to do well in film. He just hasn't.
Do you know why I don't? Because I don't want the army of marks to fucking have any juice.
I get it. But he played Mandela in a film that no one cared about.
You know who else played Mandela? Morgan Freeman. You know which one did better? Invictus.
Weigh it up, people. We've done the TV star angle. We've done the Mandela angle. Keep bringing it. We even done the animal movie. And the lion outdone him.
The lion was good, Give that lion an Oscar.
Justice for Angela, justice for the lion.
Justice for Leo. Fucking and hashtag Maverick was robbed.
There we go. Okay, you're number one.
It was the punt, bro. Arguably the biggest movie star of all time who really didn't do that much. But yeah, happy birthday, Mr. President. Because it is Marilyn Monroe, bro. It just is.
I get it. I know people who don't deal with Marilyn Monroe, who respect Marilyn Monroe.
I don't really deal with Marilyn Monroe. I'm not going to rush out and say I'm a massive fan of her movies. Look, that's not fair. I really adore Some Like It Hot, all-timer. But let's be very clear. The reason Some Like It Hot is such an amazing achievement is because they managed to somehow get a modicum of a performance out of her while she was ridden with very many pills, right? She was not acting in this movie. She was off her tits. This isn't like some sort of insider information. This is fact. This is historical fact. That happened.
Yeah. But you know the story of British Bulldog versus Bret Hart at SummerSlam, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, literally.
British Bulldog was high as a kite, and somehow or another, Bret Hart made it a classic match.
I agree.
No fit state.
I agree with what Billy Mountain says here. I think Audrey Hepburn is much sexier and more attractive than Marilyn. I agree. You will never hear me disagree with that. If you were literally putting both of them in front of me, let's get really objectifying here, as if we couldn't get cancelled enough tonight. if we're objectifying here, and you tell me I can take one of these two women home with me and have my way, Marilyn's taking a cab home. Audrey's coming in the ride.
It's
but we're not talking about how they look.
No, here's the thing.
AJ, hang on. Bro, people fucking visit Marilyn Monroe's funeral as if it was Mecca for the Islams. Like,
well, it's in the same territory as Graceland, isn't it? It just is.
It is.
But you know, there's the marry, fuck, kill. Yeah, like we're going to take kill off the table. You can see you probably have a dirty time. You'd have a bad time with Marilyn. But let's be honest, Audrey's the one you bring home to mummy, you know?
Of course she is.
And I say this respectfully. There's cute and there's sexy. Like Audrey is the I'm a man for cute over sexy. It's just who I am. Audrey has that like all day long. But Marilyn Monroe has it. As I said, I bring back this poster because you didn't even need to know who she was, and this was all over the place. Like everybody knows that moment. You know, you don't even need to know the film it came from, but everybody knows it. It's just what it is, and that's the icon behind who she was. And I looked at it and I just remember that. In the same vein that, like, Audrey Hepburn, for all that she is, some people could go, who? It's very hard to say that for Marilyn Monroe. Like, shit, last year, Blonde came out because they realized that they haven't paid homage to this icon. Irrelevant of what you feel about the film, it needed to be done. And it's not the first film. I'm sure there are many made-for-TV movies out there about this lady. Like, Marilyn Monroe is that. You know, there are elements of cartoon characters that are led off of Marilyn Monroe. She had that star power. She led it. And Marilyn Monroe is one of those stars that people want to see on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It is what it is. It is what it is. She owns it. I can't deny it. And that's why it's such a higher.
It's really telling that everyone's pulling for looks now with Marilyn. And that's not what this is about. Listen, I don't think Tom Cruise is a particularly good-looking cat.
Well, let's be honest. If we're going to play that game,
and we can go on, but like,
he's an icon. He's an icon, no doubt. But let's be honest. He's better looking than Arnie, but he's less good looking than The Rock. He's less good looking than Momoa.
Yeah,
he's not Brad Pitt.
At no point in this top 10 are we talking about looks. We're talking about an aura, a presence.
To be fair, a lot of people might be replying based on what we were saying in our conversation, following what initially kicked off about the Audrey.
Grace Kelly, yes, is probably the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. And
Audrey, but we digress.
And that's fine. And I will listen to that argument for days. But look, I'm not talking about Francis Lalonde is right. Lauren Bacall is a much more attractive woman than Marilyn Monroe. I am not talking about her looks. Jackie G has said it perfectly here. Marilyn Monroe was not a good actress, but the way she managed her short career was spectacular. The woman exploded throughout the world. In 100 years from now, people will still know who the fuck she is. And it's a fact. That's what makes her the icon that she is. Be it diamonds are a girl's best friend. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Be it the way she knew she had curves in the right places, that girl, and she knew how to strut them and she knew how to ham it up for the camera. She knew that what she had was a magnetism, this kind of its time animal magnetism, and she knew how to strut it.
Can I just be real?
Got her literally into the arms of the president.
Can I just be real? It is 2023. For all that happened with Grace Kelly just earlier when the question came out from someone in 95.
Who the fuck is Grace Kelly, said Billy Mount.
Marilyn Monroe, I had to fact check this, died in 1962.
This is a joke.
Right? She's still
We're
in the
closer to it being 100 years from her death than we are to her death.
My dad was born the year after Marilyn Monroe died. Okay?
We are still talking about her.
I'm aware of who Marilyn Monroe is. She died before, not I was born, my father was born. And she's in a conversation. I think that settles it. I don't want to get into nitpicking.
And this is what's crazy. Everything that's being said, not the world's greatest actress. Agreed. Not even the sexiest actress of her time or of any time. Agreed. And yet, look who we're talking about.
Yeah. It's very hard pressed to say differently. Now, my number one is very hard.
Jackie G, that's a great question. Sorry, AJ. Who's the Marilyn Monroe of male actors? I'd probably go out on a limb and say Brad Pitt.
But he can act.
Yeah, but he's got that same kind of that transcending intergenerational quality that fuck it, trans too. Brad could do that.
No?
I said, fuck it, trans too. Brad could do that. But he's got, I think.
I heard before
the reason I'm mentioning it. The reason I'm mentioning Brad isn't because of his looks or his acting prowess, both of which are far superior to Marilyn. He's got that same aura. But even amongst males, I wouldn't even put him there. I wouldn't put anyone there. Maybe a Brando. Male, female, I don't think there's anyone we've talking about who has that type of star power.
I have never seen, but his name has lasted the test of time. And I nearly did a poster of the entire gang, and I was like, well, it's the one leading guy.
Sinatra, Dean, maybe McQueen, but even all these guys, they're not.
Dare I say Elvis? Elvis had a string of films.
Maybe Elvis. Maybe Elvis. You might have hit it there. Maybe Elvis. But I think he'll always be obviously remembered more for his music than his acting, where he's very much movie and El Presidente.
Yeah.
I don't think if we're talking about actors, however good or bad she is, if we're talking about her peers, I don't think male or female there's ever been anyone like her who commands the screen with little talent and not being the sexiest woman of her time, yet somehow grab the screen. What she had, you can't put a label on other than pure, unadulterated star power. And that's why she's my number one. What?
Sorry. Someone just came into my head.
What?
Andrew Tate.
Oh, Jesus.
Just leave it there. Anyway.
I still love that people are defending him.
As I said, leave it there.
Can I just say one thing since you brought him up?
Don't.
I will. You know me. Of course I will. The fact that the defense for him is it's alleged human trafficking. Okay. So I allegedly stole the cookie from the jar. I allegedly took £20 from my mother's wallet. I allegedly arrived late at school. These are things. I allegedly got fired from my job for reasons that were not my fault, and it was the other guy. I allegedly, let's get really dark here. I allegedly shagged my best friend's wife. Not that either of us would ever do that shit to each other. But these are all in the realm of possibility, alleged, that can happen to normal human beings. The words alleged human trafficker should not ever get associated with your name under any circumstance, innocent or not. That shit is next level.
It's not. Look, it's not great. It's not great. I'm not gonna. Listen. As I said, I don't want to get into the conversation too deep because there are different angles. I have seen his videos pop up on Insta, and I've not disagreed.
Oh, I don't watch them. I don't give him the oxygen.
No, I actually don't completely have like hate, but I obviously see some parts that I'm like, I don't agree with those actions. Like there are two sides, and that's why I like. But I'm like, when you're famous, but you're not famous. I don't know much about his kickboxing career. I know I'm aware
he's accomplished. Listen, he's decent, but that's kind of why I've got such disdain for him. Is that as a martial artist?
I've got to be honest. I don't. More than not. I know there was some stuff like getting into a beef with Creta. I'm like, stop it. You're bigger than that. You are bigger than that as an individual. But it was.
I just wonder why he feels so vulnerable that every time he's on TV, he has to share that he has 17 supercars. Like, bro, do you need a hug?
Anyway, we digress.
Are the cars compensating for something? And I'm not even talking about your penis. I'm literally saying, are you that fucking... Like, I feel almost bad for him. Like, Don't feel bad for me. I'm the face of toxic masculinity. I've got 17 supercars. Cool, man. Are you happy? Or are you being charged for alleged human
I'll tell you
trafficking?
what, no, again, he's been released. Let the man be. But innocent till proven
Fuck
guilty.
off, mate. I'm
Innocent
sorry.
till proven guilty. This is why I said I don't want to go down this rabbit hole. I don't. I really don't. Yeah. Anyway. Yes, so Will Ferrell was my worst. Marilyn Monroe is your number one. My number one, it's a weird one, but it's that mix that I also gave De Niro. But I feel his star power is not as strong as everybody else. So this is why I've very much hesitated. But I can't deny that when it comes to people nowadays, he's the one person that when I hear the name, I feel you're going to give me a good film.
DiCaprio?
No. Tom Hanks. It's an awkward one, right? I feel
sticky because he's such a fucking great actor.
It's that, but do you know it's that thing that when you look at the different angles of who he has been and he is consistent. And I feel, and I don't know if it could be very personal for me on this, but I feel people still stop and pay attention to that name. It's one of those that it will go a bit quiet and then you hear Tom Hanks has got a new film and people are there and they go, I'm going to check it out. I'm going to check it out. And they're consistent in that strength.
I don't know.
Don't get me wrong. Others have got bigger star power than him, but that's what I think is also quite unique in it because no one bats an eyelid to be like, no, fuck Tom. Well, my brother does, but like it's still he has that element.
Speaking only for myself, I can't remember the last time I ran out specifically to see a Tom Hanks movie. And I adore Tom Hanks. He is the star of my favorite movie of all time, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. That's what. The more I've gone through, the more I'm like. But there was something when I first went through this, and I think it's because I looked at the equal power of what he has as a name. Because I still feel that people give it that shot of a Tom Hanks movie, which is the definition of what I described the star earlier, and he knocks them out of the park. I can't think of a time I went, I didn't like that Hanks movie. I can say that possibly about a few Cruise movies. I can definitely say it about a Smith movie.
Oh, yeah. I mean, look, he is definitely Mr. Consistency, and you're never going to get a bad performance out of him. Ever.
And I feel, because I saw some people put it out there, Denzel Washington as that. I feel Denzel is more of an
Denzel's got star power, 100%.
Yes, but I feel Hanks has a touch more. I don't know why. And that's why Denzel didn't make the list because Denzel
Hanks is like Hollywood's father, man. It's like the modern Hollywood father. He's everyone's daddy. He's cinema's father.
But then that's star power in itself. Do you not agree then? If he's everyone's
it is. I don't know if I'd put him as number one though. Jeez. Especially when not above Arnie. On your list alone, not above Arnie.
De Niro is a very late entry to me. Right? And at the time when I first created this list, and I'm not knocking Cruise when I say this, he was the one that I felt had the perfect balance of being able to do both. You go up for
and yes, guys, please do drop your 10s down below now.
Yeah, and that's why I'm not even asking for him to be on Rushmore. I'm not. But there's something about him that just stuck out. Even now when I'm going through the list, I was like, ooh, like should it? And I was like, he's got something. I'm aware it can be very personal. I'm aware that could be very personal for me here. Like there are way bigger names in terms of stars.
I don't know, man. And I'm going to pitch something to you here. The fact that, I mean, we've had some punts, but the fact that we're, even with the two of us, having pretty much agreed upon a definition of what star is, but seeing just, our loyal little film family in the comment section, how much disagreement there's been, I can only imagine how misinterpreted that's going to get in the short character space that one is allowed on Twitter. How would you feel? And there's two reasons for this. How would you feel about not having a Rushmore this week for the reason I just mentioned, that it's going to create too much confusion about how people are interpreting star? For one reason. And secondly, because I don't know if JT's out of hospital yet.
That's fine. I can work with that.
So I think we're not going to do a Rushmore this week.
As I said, especially because we're going over the generations, I think in a world where you have the likes of Chaplin, Monroe,
Dean,
Dean, Brando, right? That's one generation.
Hepburn.
Yeah. Then you have another generation, which is Smith, Murphy, who didn't make the list. Shit, Bruce Lee has to be in a conversation somewhere. The diversity of what is a star and how you brand a star. Shit, Will Ferrell could top it easily because of the love and the army that this man has. The confusion we have over what Tom Hanks is. You know, I'm just looking at it here. I'm seeing some people saying it. I was like, well, he's good, but he's not a star. It's a very personal view. And I think it's the most divided you would ever get someone. You're going to have people saying, where's Bogart? When Bogart means respectfully fuck all to either of the silver screen dudes. You know?
There you go.
Just for the fact that you put De Niro, people, you're going to have this more than voting as the argument, why was Pacino not in there then? You put Tom, for every person who goes in, I've got a counter argument. You put in Cruise, why wasn't Pitt in there?
Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey.
Yeah. You literally put in Will Ferrell, where's Jim Carrey? You put in Will Smith, where's Eddie Murphy? Like, everyone has a counter. You put in Sam Rockwell, where's Edward Norton? Like, everyone has a counter imbalance of.
That's a good one, Rockwell and Norton. I like that.
That's a fucking powerhouse of a thing. But you get what I'm saying? You can even put Charlize Theron, and people are going to be like, where's Meryl Streep? Like, I'm not.
Sharon Stone, surely.
Sharon Stone, but these are the ones I'm talking about. Where's Julia Roberts? You put Jamie Lee Curtis, where's Sigourney Weaver? Like, everyone has their balance of a counter that is worth being like, oh, but that should have been there. That should have been there. It's too divisive to actually be a poll. I think there would be more debate in the poll than the poll.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just read through people's top 10s and we will excuse me. We will wrap it there. Pedro Sanctos. What do you not understand, Siri? Okay. I said, excuse me, and she's like, I don't understand. Pedro Sanctos says, Tom Hanks. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. This is the droid I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Pedro Sanctos says, number 1, John Wayne. 2, Monroe. 3, Clint Eastwood. 4, Tom Cruise. 5, James Dean. 6, Humphrey Bogart. 7, Sidney Poitier. 8, Schwarzenegger. 9, Bridget Bardot. 10, Eddie Murphy. Amazing list.
Yeah. It's not a name I can say doesn't deserve any credit.
No. Really not. Mixed memorabilia. Not my faves are in order. Schwarzenegger, Gene Kelly, Charlie Chaplin, Amitabh Bachchan, Bruce Lee, Leonardo DiCaprio, Tom Cruise, John Travolta, Clint Eastwood, Dolph Lundgren.
I don't know if Dolph would make the cut for me.
Oh, he's a star. He's absolutely a star. But I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what? When I play the counter game, if you put Dolph Lundgren, then the next question is where's Steven Seagal? Do you know what I mean?
Fuck yes, where's Steven Seagal? You know I've got love for that man. Gavin Mann says 10-1. Sidney Poitier, Kurt Russell, Tom Hanks, Harrison Ford, Brad Pitt, Robin Williams, Samuel L. Jackson, Marilyn Monroe, Sylvester Stallone, Arnie. Amazing top 10.
Cannot argue.
Amazing top 10. Jackie G. My Rushmore in no order. Elvis, Arnie, Sigourney Weaver, Stallone, Robin Williams. Amazing list.
Argue.
Amazing list. Francis Lon says Chaplin, Harrison Ford, John Wayne, Weird Al Yankovic.
To be played by Harry Potter.
Very good. Francis Lon says my non-Rushmore, Idris Elba, Jason Momoa, Dwayne Johnson, and Will Ferrell. Go on, Francis. Go on, Francis.
But then Jackie makes an awesome point here. Top 3 of Planet Hollywood.
Stallone, Willis, and Arnie.
Do you know, I was so heartbroken that the day I was going to go to Planet Hollywood, it had shut down. I was heartbroken. Oh. I need to go to LA or something to do a thing. I was hurt. I was so excited to see it.
I had my 10th birthday in Planet Hollywood.
I saw Power Ranger costumes from the thing. I've seen Terminator costumes. I've seen everything. And I remember taking the missus. I was like, right, we're going to go Planet Hollywood. And it was shut. I was like, you what? And when I Googled it and it said permanently shut, I was heartbroken. It was that. And
But AJ, we got Bubba Gump shrimp now.
No, it's gone.
Oh, good. That's
It's gone.
sucked.
It was terrible. My sister had the worst experience of food ever there. I went there to take a picture because it was Tom Hanks related, but that is as far as it went. I didn't even eat in there. The missus has a pint glass from there, which was cool. That was cool. Like, film memorabilia will always get me, but apart from that,
Sure.
But again, I was thankful that Planet Hollywood had shut because that was my first experience of Hard Rock Cafe. But it didn't compare. It didn't compare. I'm still heartbroken. I never got to see Planet Hollywood London.
Aye.
Yeah. Right.
Close it
Okay,
out.
guys. But you know what? I have to put it out there. There is no voting, so there will be no best of the best of the best. El Capitano Numero Uno with honors and the rest. However, show some love to JT, and please, for the love of Christ, do the right thing. If you're not doing it already, please follow at We Love Movies at Movie Polls for You. Just show the guy some love, man. If you appreciate what we do, the continuation of what we do is found on his page. So spread the love, guys. Yeah.
Nice one. Well said.
Well,
yeah, close it up, mate.
Okay, guys. So, yeah, there's not much more I can say. Just please, if anything, we're on Spotify. We're all on all podcast platforms. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And until the next time, I am the one AJ Anthony Jordan. Normally, I like a bit of background music when I start talking on this shit, but hey.
No, I'll get it on in a moment. A little announcement just from my side. I'm going to be away in filming in, where is it? Malta next week. So once again, we're going on just a little week-long hiatus. Just gone a week though. We'll be back the following Tuesday, and we will be talking about the top 10 movies set in a future that has now passed.
Yeah, cool.
That's a good one. Guys, as always, please do be sure to like the video, comment below, share the video with anyone who you think may be interested. We may have quite a big announcement coming soon on the channel that's going to be discussed by AJ and myself. Right now, we'll be get off air, but we'll keep you guys in the loop about that. But yeah, see you guys very soon. We out.
Yeah.
See ya.